30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
Well, last night was ugly. Welcome to the show, Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. What was I talking about? The Dallas Cowboys-New York Giants game, Pearl. Giants had a chance at the end, but Dallas walks away with a win. But there was a toll taken on both of these teams last night. That's my biggest takeaway. You had Micah Parsons, who leaves the game on a cart. Probably more like a preventative type of thing. He was able to kind of wobble his way and kind of get to the blue tent. But at the very end, he's on a cart. Malik Neighbors, who's the standout wide receiver for the Giants, he gets a concussion last night in the final minutes of the game. Overall, it was a field goal fest. I don't know what we actually learned about Dallas. We learned that they were able to stop the bleeding against an inferior opponent. But to me, the injuries was the biggest takeaway from this game. What about you?
So Micah Parsons got an X-ray negative. Is getting an MRI today. He said he's going to try and play. They got a 10-day break. I'm going to be optimistic on that. Last night, I don't know what. Guys just didn't seem to want to go back on the field. That did not look like a great field. That was his Thursday night game that you get, right? Short week.
Penalties all over the place.
Oh, the penalties were ridiculous. Everyone cramping because it was humid, and we're here in New York. It was super humid last night. I don't know if that was an effect of the storm. So that was as messy a game. The penalties were so stupid. They ruined the entire game.
They did.
They called the one that I think a lot of people are paying attention to. They're punting at the end of the half, and there was no time left, and the Giants just waved off. They called a holding on this punt. Why? what are they doing? Is there any discretion at all from the officials? And a lot of them, especially the holdings on the run calls, were not egregious by any means. I mean, Tyler Guyton, the left tackle for the Cowboys, was holding every play. So he rightfully got a bunch of flags because he got beat. But other than that, they don't have to call a flag every play, Maggie.
It was the referee show last night, and so there was no rhythm really to the game. Yeah. And, if I'm going to say the positives for the Dallas Cowboys, because they did win the game, it was 20-15 was the final score. If I didn't mention that already, apologize. But they held the New York Giants to 5 field goals. The defense was holding basically the Giants' run game to 1.1 yard a carry. That's as good as you can ask for. A team that got absolutely torched the last 2 weeks in the run. Now, the Giants don't present the same type of running threat. Even though Daniel Jones historically has been a runner, he really didn't. He used his legs maybe on 2 third downs last night, but really just one. Scrambled a little bit, but he doesn't have anyone to throw to except for Malik Neighbors. There's no other weapons on offense for the Giants, really. Wan'Dale Robinson has
about 100 catches last night.
He has some promise, but he also had a really crucial drop on a third down that could have extended a drive for the New York Giants, and it came up snake eyes.
Yeah,
so it's Malik Neighbors and nobody there.
Well, Wan'Dale Robinson wasn't bad. So they couldn't run, right? So they started throwing screen passes to Wan'Dale and Malik all the time. How many tackles do you think Wan'Dale Robinson broke last night?
Oh, a lot.
And now, that's on the flip side of the Giants offense, and they stopped the run, but the Cowboys cannot tackle anybody. I feel like there's only, how many, there must have been as many flags as there were that many broken tackles. Luckily, the Giants can't get anything down. Yeah. Like Daniel Jones cannot throw a bomb.
He can't throw a deep ball anymore. I was just talking to Boomer Esiason about this name drop because even he was saying on some crucial plays, you had Daniel Jones was underthrowing his receivers, which is funny because when he first came into the league, the deep ball was one of his better weapons, and that was with a way worse offensive line.
Well, that's the other thing. I'm just keeping back on the Cowboys. Where was the Cowboys' pass rush last night?
The Giants' offensive line is better, but I think you're right. I think the Cowboys made them look very good. Okay. They're good. They're better, but they're not great.
Forget the details of this game. You're spending all Thursday day in a social media war with Ed Werder about the state of the Cowboys.
I know. Ed, you coming for the smoke?
Are you taking away from this game that the Cowboys are dead in the water, not going to make the playoffs, or are you saying, okay, they stopped the bleeding last night with at least a W?
I feel the same way that I felt yesterday. I feel like this was a game that the Cowboys should have won.
They did.
I didn't think they were spectacular, but that's okay. You don't have to do style points. This isn't college. We're not trying to impress the BCS. All you have to do is leave with the win. They did that. I thought the run defense was much better, but again, it's not the same weapons. Not Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson out there, so it's a little different. But I thought this was good for them to get away with a win, and I still have them not making the playoffs this year. So to me, not a lot is changed. Dak was good, getting the ball out. He was efficient. CeeDee Lamb is also kind of all they have. And Lamb at times with backup corners and backup secondary, players all throughout for the Giants. I thought he was really good in the first half, and I thought in the second half he really wasn't that great. Even those like sort of swing passes, they were just trying to get him the ball. Those were getting sniffed out by the end too. So, I feel like the Cowboys are just sort of in the same state of neutral. I give them a B. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I think the Cowboys, the expectation is not 12-5 anymore. I think it's 10-7, and then you sneak in the playoffs in the NFC East. That's where, and then you lose in the wild card. That's what we're looking at. But I think nobody picked the Cowboys to win the Super Bowl anyway. There was not a single expert out there.
And I think
so.
People
This is who
were
they
right
are.
about
but
that.
I do think, to say they're not going to make the playoffs, like they still will have some bad teams on the schedule that they can beat.
Do you feel better about the Cowboys now?
No, I feel I know exactly who they are. I do think there's a couple areas for improvement. Like you gotta de-emphasize Brandon Cooks. He's obviously a negative play waiting to happen. So they'll go to Jalen Tolbert. He'll become wide receiver 2, and Cooks will be a third wide receiver. That's going to immediately help. I do think the running backs looked okay last night, so that's an improvement. And they stopped the run, which is an improvement. Now, obviously, the Giants saw something. Their linebackers and their defensive backs, their safeties are washed. Malik Hooker, oh my God, I could outrun that dude.
Yeah.
So I do think that there are improvements to make. Would you at least buy this? Maybe they get to know Mike Zimmer, the new defense coordinator's defense, a little better. Maybe it's a matter of adjusting to a totally new style, and they'll understand things better. They have a 10-day break here.
Yep.
I am not writing them off. So Pittsburgh, I think everyone's going to pick Pittsburgh in that game because the Cowboys let up the run, and the Steelers, even if they don't win this week, are obviously have Justin Fields,
right,
and Najee Harris will just pound it at the Cowboys. I think this is 10 days. If they come in even relatively healthy, I think they have a good chance in that game. So if they go 3-2, yeah, I'm looking at a wild card or sneaking in, winning a week NFC East.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how great, Cowboy fans are going to feel about that. When are you going to finally break through? That's the question we've been asking since the 90s.
But
and this does not seem like that type of season. And also the weird thing is you're not resetting either. It's not like, we're not resetting anything because you have the highest paid guys in multiple positions. Like, this is the time to go for it. You got a head coach in a lame duck year. Everyone should be hair on fire. This should be the balls to the wall season, and it doesn't really feel like that.
Wait. Yeah, but I mean, Jerry said he was all in, and then he went all out. So, no, I don't think it's the balls to the wall season. I think Cowboys fans are savvy enough to know that this was not set up for that kind of success.
You got the highest paid quarterback in the league. If there was anyone else, any other team in the league with the highest paid quarterback, wouldn't we be like, that team should have expectations?
You always say that, but everybody's the highest paid quarterback. Nobody thinks Trevor Lawrence is the second highest paid quarterback is going to the Super Bowl. Nobody thinks Tua is.
That could be one of the worst contracts ever if Lawrence can't get his what together.
Nobody thought Tua Tagovailoa was going to the Super Bowl. He made $50 million. And I mean, actually, people thought Jared Goff, but generally the $50 million, that's just the price now. You can't say, you're paying that guy. There's going to be 15 quarterbacks in the NFL making 40 plus. You can't all go to the Super Bowl.
Listen, Dak isn't even really the story last night. I mean, he was fine. He was not the problem, that's for sure. He was efficient. He was exactly what you needed. It was fine.
Yeah, I think the Cowboys, did anybody, and maybe you disagree, like they effectively lowered the expectations coming into the season. I don't think there was Super Bowl or bust fans at all. I think they're like, just keep us good for now.
But you can understand why Cowboy fans would be disappointed by that. Right?
Well, maybe in July, but it became very clear that they were not gearing up for a Super Bowl year. I mean, now I think they just want a winning season. I don't think Cowboys, I don't know. I'd like to hear from them. Are any Cowboys fans, maybe Big Dave's out there who say, oh my God, I can't believe we're not a Super Bowl team? Like, you have Ezekiel Elliott as your starting running back. Or, well, he's second string now. But, I mean, you're throwing out Zeke Elliott at running back. I think it's a lower expectation. I think our big debate, and I'd like to do a show bet on it because I think it's a coin flip. Do the Cowboys make the playoffs? That's where we're at here now.
I mean, I've said no. I've consistently said no. I've been on no. But I think that, this is where you and I will always disagree about this. Yeah. If you have a quarterback that you don't think you can win a Super Bowl with, what are you doing? Because that means everything else has to be not just perfect, so above average. Like, think about the great teams that have won Super Bowls or even gotten to Super Bowls who don't have great quarterbacks. What is the hallmarks of those teams? They had all-time defenses. All-time. If you want to do like the Ravens in 2000, stuff like that. You have to be so incredible at other spots to overcome not having a great quarterback or like one of the best quarterbacks. And I know Dak was one of the best last year, but he's obviously not shown a penchant for the big game, right? So it's got to be frustrating when all of a sudden you throw $60 million at a guy, which can hamstring you in other places if you don't think that person is actually going to lead you to a Super Bowl. That's where you and I see this different. I find that to be very frustrating. I think your quarterback, even if they're really expensive, should be worth it. To be paying a guy you're not sure if they're worth it, that's where the real frustration comes in. And you just say, well, that's the market. You got to pay the guy. We sat here for months and talked about the Cowboys. Did they have to pay Dak? And again, he's not the problem last night, so it's kind of weird to have this conversation today. Yeah. But you just didn't have a plan B.
So if you're only going to pay quarterbacks who are Super Bowl winning, like basically there's only 2 quarterbacks who won Super Bowls over the last 10 years. You're paying Patrick Mahomes, you're paying Tom Brady. Does that mean the other 30 quarterbacks? And Tom Brady's not even playing anymore.
Right.
So you're just going to pay nobody?
Well, Aaron Rodgers. I guess like the other thing.
Aaron Rodgers, 14 years ago, he won a Super Bowl, yeah.
So here's the thing, though. It's like, I think I don't know if we're getting to that tipping point, but I wonder if a lot of fans kind of wish we were, especially when you do pay a guy and he doesn't pan out. Like you're paying Tua, and is he ever going to play football again? You're playing Trevor Lawrence. He's going to be on his 3rd coach probably soon, and we haven't seen it yet. And those contracts are looking bad. Deshaun Watson's contract looks awful. Maybe there's not a rush to pay. If you want to rush to pay Lamar Jackson, which, by the way, Baltimore strung that out forever. You want to rush to pay Mahomes. You want to rush to pay, Joe Burrow. You want to rush to pay Matthew Stafford. I get you want to keep those guys, and you want to pay them at the top of the market. Josh Allen, you want to pay them at the top of the market because you see everything they're doing for your team. Dak's a good game last night where he's just sort of distributing the ball a little bit, quick throws, not a lot of big explosive plays, just sort of won the game. And that's fine. But if you don't think he's going to win a Super Bowl, then what are you paying for?
Okay, so I understand. I feel like I'm not going to let you criticize the Trevor Lawrence and Tua deals because that feels like Monday morning quarterback because they've had the worst 3 games possible for any human beings.
Sure.
But I think Dak is a good litmus test here. So you're saying, right, and what I'm hearing right now is maybe they shouldn't have paid Dak.
I'm wondering.
Dak was perfect last night.
And he was fine last night. Again,
he wasn't just fine.
He's not the story today.
He was carving them up like a surgeon. I mean, he basically the ball didn't hit the ground the entire night, unless he threw it to Brandon Cooks. Those were the only misses the entire game.
Yeah. No, listen, they won last night. They won. But you're asking me, are they a playoff team and what's the expectations? And we're going beyond just last night's game.
Yeah. But it's not on Dak. The defense right now is a concern. Even though they only let up 15 points, I'm not worried about the offense. I'm worried about stopping the run and tackling. If again, like where is all this money that went into the defense? Where is DeMarcus Lawrence? Feels like
he got hurt last night,
and even when he's on the field, like he couldn't get to Daniel Jones. Their pass rush disappeared. You know that somebody's going to run all over them. So I'm fine with Dak. Like if they didn't have Dak right now, I mean, what are they?
Oh, I don't know. It's besides CeeDee Lamb, there's not a lot there.
Yeah, it's so funny you say that. I understand in theory, like the big quarterback contracts are not looking good, but you look at that Cowboys game last night, the last thing you're worried about is $60 million for Dak. If you look at the season, like, God, somebody just get into those defenses, like play tougher. Don't be so darn soft on defense.
So, but here's the question. If you're paying Dak Prescott $60 million, is it preventing you, and the way that the Cowboys misplayed this whole offseason by waiting so long for him to even sign that contract where they could have restructured or not restructured, they could have, evened out some of the salary cap stuff for this year, and maybe they are actually signing other defensive tackles to try to stop the run in a meaningful way. Maybe they're signing better linebackers than rolling out there with Eric Kendricks and some of these other guys. I
mean, we liked the Eric Kendricks deal when it happened, but yeah.
It all trickled. Well, did we? I mean, we liked it because he knows Mike Zimmer's defense, but this guy hasn't been a real factor in a long time.
I'm not sure who you think in the free agency market was coming to fix all this. I mean, free agents are usually not... if you have to fix everything with like older defensive players on free agency, that never works either.
I'm not saying fix everything. They're obviously drafting guys. I'm just saying, could you have been a bit more on the market? EJ, you want to get in on this?
Yeah, that's the problem I have with the Dallas Cowboys. I felt like watching last night, they're a team that is relying on way too many scrubs to do important things. Number 2 receiver, number 3 receiver, running backs 1 through 3. A lot of guys in the defensive line where they come in because of the injuries. Like, this is just not a talented team, which is bizarre because I felt like last year there were stars everywhere. The amount of talent they've lost over the last 2 or 3 years is stunning. So when we go back to that Dak Prescott conversation, you can say, okay, yes, that's the market for a $60 million quarterback. I asked the question, Are they a team that needs a $60 million quarterback right now, or they're a team that needs to actually fill out the rest of the roster and fill these other holes? Maybe they can do that in the draft, but this is a team that's just not that talented.
Wait, EJ, what stars did they lose?
Well,
Amari
you lost
Cooper.
your center. You lost Amari Cooper.
Amari
you lost
Cooper. Jeez,
Amari
Louise.
Cooper had 1,300 yards last year.
They would
You
love
take him-
Amari Cooper
You
back.
would take him over in a heartbeat over the guys that were playing wide receiver yesterday.
They've won 80% of their games since Amari Cooper left the building. But okay, wait, who else? I'm sorry.
They lost their starting center, who's been a Pro Bowl player.
Yeah, that new center is awesome. He's the only really amazing player this year. He hasn't let up a pressure
Look
yet.
at their run. Look at that running back. You
By the way,
watch
you say their starting center. You're talking about Tyler Biadasz,
who played great,
That's
by
not
the way,
a
on Monday Night
star.
Football.
That's not a star.
He helped them. He was one of the best players on the field against the Bengals a couple of nights ago.
They have not lost to any stars. I totally disagree with that.
You think that's a talented team out there you saw yesterday?
Yes, they're talented. First of all, the highly paid guys like DeMarcus Lawrence aren't doing anything. Like, it's not a matter. And Trayvon Diggs is not, well, he's okay. But generally, though, yeah, there's definitely some talent there. I mean, they're relying on a lot of young guys.
You just said Malik Hooker that he couldn't cover you.
Well, they're paying. It's not because they're not paying Malik
But that's
Hooker.
my
He's
point.
actually getting some
The guy
money.
you just named, DeMarcus Lawrence, he's good, but he's not playing well.
Yeah,
Trayvon Diggs,
but you're saying, but Maggie's
Malik
saying
Hooker
they're not
can't cover
paying these
anybody.
guys.
No, they paid Diggs.
Yeah, I mean, they are paying these defensive players. They're not playing up to expectations. For some reason, they're just not tough right now. They're kind of soft.
I just don't know how you look at that running back room and that wide receiver room and say that that's a talented team. I'm being real.
Because it's the NFL in 2024. You shouldn't need to invest anything in your running back room. You should
not
be able
about
to fill it out with 5th, 6th, 7th
It's
round
not about
picks.
investment, Pearl. It's just about talent. There are plenty of teams who have young players, rookies, second-round picks, guys who aren't making a lot who are still really good players. I think the Dallas Cowboys, when you look at that running back room, that wide receiver room, some of those guys in secondary, guys have not panned out. So, or they're relying on old guys like Brandon Cooks. That's what I mean when I say when I look at this team, this is not a talented roster.
Yeah, I think this is a team that really believes in their drafts.
Yeah,
and then you have to sort of wait for these guys to develop. But then it's a question of, well, now you got a head coach on a lame duck year, right? So you've got Mike Zimmer. If Mike McCarthy's out, Zimmer's going with him. So now you're just starting all over again with another defensive system and another thing. It's.
Well, I mean, listen, you're right. They're the ultimate draft and develop team. What happened? I mean, they got the offensive line is getting old. Like, they lost Travis Frederick. They obviously lost Tyron Smith. Like, this happens. Like, they're rebuilding actually the really smart way. Why are we killing a team that's draft and develop? And by the way, Tyler Guyton, as bad as he was last night, that guy's going to be good. You can just tell. He's a monster.
Yeah, once he gets past the holding calls.
But he's 3 games into his entire NFL career.
But then you ask, like, is this a team... When you're relying on rookies like that,
yeah, no, I mean,
are you telegraphing sort of?
They've won 12. They've gone 12-5 3 years in a row, and they got old. And this is probably the smart. Actually, if they weren't the Cowboys, we'd be like, wow, somebody's smart there, because this is how you build. You draft and develop. Like, good teams do not sign guys in free agency. That's not really. I mean, look at the Chiefs. They have young defensive players all over the field, and they've been awesome.
I don't think my concern is the process, because I agree with their process. I'm saying look at the actual roster. Look at how they're performing. Their process hasn't worked with what they are doing. That's what I am trying to say.
But it has worked to some extent.
Well, regular season. If you want to hang your hat on the regular season wins, but I think Cowboy fans are sick of that. Like, there's a moment where you start being just like thankful to be here and like thankful to be in the mix, and you get to a point where you're like, all right, we're paying our quarterback $60 million, we're paying our wide receiver $35 million. Micah Parsons is going to make $50 million. Like, when are the wins coming? Like, when is the Super Bowl coming? That's just the reality. The Cowboys are judged on that. The Cincinnati Bengals are going to be judged on that. The Bills are going to be judged on that. At some point, your Philadelphia Eagles with the Jalen Hurts era, at some point, it's not enough to just win games.
Yeah, but this year, they just want to win. I'm telling you, they lost 47-10 to the Saints. Any Super Bowl aspirations went out the window with that game. I think they'd be thrilled just to be a wild card team this year. And if anybody disagrees with me, I mean, you're not going to be better. Like, your defense kind of stinks right now.
So that's, again, like,
Daniel Jones
are you
like,
just mid? Are you just mediocre then?
Yeah. You're probably, last year, the last couple of years, their schedules helped a lot. You're probably about a 9 or 10 win team.
Right. So that's DJ's point. Why does a 9 or 10 win team need a $60 million quarterback?
Exactly.
Because without him, you're a 4-win team.
But that's probably what you need to do, because then you can draft a quarterback who's not going to make $60 million.
But how are you going to draft your
CJ Stroud?
Yeah. So you're saying you should have processed it up and just stunk. Yeah. I don't know if Dallas wanted to do that. I understand what you're saying. To see Dallas go 3-14 would be tough. Jerry's not a young man.
855-212-4227. All right. impressed at all by what the Cowboys did last night? A little stop the bleeding, or a little bit more meh from Dallas? 855-212-4227. We have a lot to get to today, including an emotional scene yesterday, and we could have expected this, and we should have. Emotional scene at the Coliseum in the final home game for the Oakland A's. It's a sad moment, emotional moment, because it didn't have to happen, and it feels unnecessary. 855-212-4227. You feel for the fans there. And we've got so much more. We've got our NFL picks today. We've got celebrity guest picker today. We've got it all. Maggie and Perloff, don't move. Okay, sports fans, listen up. 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer, and bladder leaks can be a side effect. That's why Depend is teaming up with the Prostate Cancer Foundation to encourage screening, because health is a long game and it's yours to win. Now, here's the cool part. Through November, Depend is contributing up to $300,000 to prostate cancer research by donating 40 cents for every purchase of shields, guards, and Real Fit products. Void in Mississippi. Learn more at depend.com.
You're in a 4.5-minute break. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. 1 minute remaining. "45 seconds remaining. "30 seconds remaining. "15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
All right, welcome back to Maggie and Perloff. I've been forced into this role against my will. I am now the Cowboys defender, a lifelong Philadelphia Eagles fan. There are reasons to be optimistic. Can I give you two?
Sure.
You have a young offensive line who's just going to get better. And by the way, in 4 years, this offensive line is going to be incredible because Tyler Smith, Cooper Beebe's already great. He hasn't let up a pressure this season. And then Tyler Guyton will figure out the game a little bit. He got destroyed last night, the left tackle. They also have a new superstar. Hunter Lupke, I don't know who, this number 40.
Yeah.
Who is that dude? I noticed him against the Ravens. I took a note. I'm like, we got to talk about this guy. He is a great pass-catching fullback, whatever. He's the new Kyle Juszczyk.
Yeah.
He is really good. And then he's a killer on special teams. So, and then they do have two legit weapons.
I was going to say, you just
Ferguson-
give me offensive line, which the Cowboys have never had an issue with and still can't win the Super Bowl, and then you just gave me the fullback.
Well, also, I know their receiver room stinks, but Jake Ferguson's really good. So you have two receivers. You have CeeDee Lamb and Jake Ferguson. Now you just need a third guy. And
where are we going to get this dude?
well, Tolbert, I mean, I think anybody but Brandon Cooks, because Brandon Cooks, I heard this morning, they just do not give him the flags. Like the Giants defenders just tackled him. By the way, the officials were on crack last night, so who knows what actually was happening.
How about also we got was Al Michaels saying he's like the ref looks like he's out of central casting, something about his shirt being too tight.
A little Hockley action, yeah.
I was like, we are really in the weeds.
Well, I mean, if they had thrown honestly, a few more flags in the second half, I was just going to walk out on
I
that
thought
game.
so too. I was like, he's going to be like, listen, Kirk, you can take it the rest of the way with your dog. Dog can call the play-by-play.
I saw a really funny tweet. I told the guys this morning. It said, Al, if they call one more foul, I'm going to beat the referee with a hammer. Kirk, did you know Devin Singletary went to Florida Atlantic?
It's always about this guy where he went to college.
Yeah.
I actually like it. I don't mind it when he's like, this guy, especially now because guys went to 100 colleges. He's like, this guy started at Iowa where he was a receiver.
Yeah.
Then he went to Purdue, and then he went to da-da-da, and then da-da-da. I'm like, well, thank you. I didn't know
but
that.
the thing is, when he gets nervous, because Al is, the two of them are on totally different pages. Al's going on one thing, and Kirk's just like, oh, yeah. When he was a sophomore at NC State, he had 3 sacks of Deshaun Watson. Anyway.
Yeah. Al Michaels saying he could punt the ball from Paramus to Secaucus. I was like, that one's not going to land with this audience. Do you realize most of the people watching this are Cowboys fans? Let's go to Levi. He's in Arkansas. Levi, were you impressed with what the Cowboys did last night?
Not at all. And I've been a Cowboys fan since, I think, far too long now. And I tell you, there's a time that you have to say you have to be a coaching change. And I think they messed up by not doing it this year. So, too many mistakes last night, too many penalties. So, I mean, I just don't know what your take on that is, but I think McCarthy needs to go. And that's all I got to say.
Yeah, Levi, thank you for calling from Mars. I don't know. Like McCarthy, listen, too early to say. If they do get into the playoffs and they end up going on a little bit of a run here, I think he's safe. If not, I don't think so. But
Go on a little bit of a run.
Jerry's hard to read with coaches. If the price is right on McCarthy, and if he's not that expensive of a coach, I don't know if they would want to shell out the big bucks for Belichick or something like that. Belichick's going to be expensive.
Yeah, I don't know if the timing works out for Belichick. Belichick could have time to build this very, very young roster into what he wants. I'm not sure.
I think they want probably Lincoln Riley or something like that. And again, Lincoln Riley's making what?
He's had shots at Riley. I think when he had McCarthy, I think Riley was in the ether. I'm not sure that's happening either.
Clint is in Dallas. Clint, how'd you feel about the game last night?
It's an absolute disappointment. That's an awful Giant team. To barely squeeze by and the game to be that close, and there were plays that were there to be made that could have extended the game. You know, it's 14-6. They go for it on the 4th and 1. Donovan Wilson can't make a tackle for a 5-yard loss. Could have turned the ball over, gotten the ball back to Dak. That was right after CD made the big play. This is a undisciplined, soft team. That comes from the coaching. The reason why it comes from the coaching is the players know. The players Barry's the one making the decisions. What other owner has a radio show? What other owner gives the injury report? What other owner says, well, no, Dalvin Cook's not going to play? That's what the coach does. The coach is there to do that. So the players don't respect McCarthy. It's the reason why if you get rid of McCarthy and get another head coach, you're going to have the same problem.
Yeah, it doesn't
As long
matter.
as these rednecks run this team, these hillbilly because his son's just as dumb as he is. Okay? The youngest son is even dumber. If you saw the viral clip of when Tom Brady was on the field, he shakes hands with Jerry, he shakes hands with Steven, he gives Charlotte a hug, Jerry Jr. puts his hand out, and he doesn't shake Jerry Jr.'s hand. So we all know who the Fredo in the family is.
Oh, no. I didn't even see that, Clint. I got to go back to the videotape.
You've got to see it. I think it was the Raven game. I think it was Raven because they were at home, obviously, when Brady did the game.
Oh, Brady calls every game.
Soft.
Yeah.
They want to hang their hat on defense, but Jerry's everything can't afford it. Why couldn't he afford Derrick Henry? How come the Eagles and the 49ers can always afford to sign new players?
Oh, well, that's infuriating. No, Clint, I'm with you on that. That's infuriating when Jerry stands up and says, we couldn't afford it. It's like, that's just not true. You know, and I love how they try to explain the salary cap to all of us.
Dak on Sunday against the Browns decided, yep, he's a future quarterback. If you knew he was doing it then, why didn't you do it back in July or August where you could have used the money to restructure, as you guys were saying, and then move on and to say, well, let's get Derrick Henry or Joe Mixon or somebody that's anybody's better than the running backs they have in that room.
Clint, they were waiting for the leaves to fall.
That keeps the defensive coordinator up at night, and that's C.D. Lamb.
Yeah.
He's the only guy you got to worry about. And Jake Ferguson is a good player. He is a good player. I'm a Cowboys fan. He's a good player. But anybody else, man, throw the ball to Tolbert. Throw it to Brandon Cooks. Go ahead and hand it to Zeke. The guy runs like he's got cement in his shoes. God bless him. He's done. He's done. He's baked. He's cooked. But no, let's not get a running back. Oh, you know what? The two problems we had last year, stop the run and run the ball. So let's go get a running back and decent defensive tackles. Nope. Not going to do that. No reason to do that. Don't fix your holes. Don't do that. This is a soft team, an undisciplined team, a team that doesn't care about their coach because they know he's a lame duck.
Yeah.
Look at the history of coaches in the NFL. When guys are lame duck coaches, they don't do well.
You're not wrong, dude, and I get it, and thank you for the call, and I feel like Clint's making all my cases about why I do not think the Dallas Cowboys are a playoff team. Just to give some numbers to what Clint was talking about, 11 penalties last night, 89 yards. They were calling everything, and the Cowboys were undisciplined. And they were 3 of 10 on third down. Again, this is not a great Giants secondary. Flott and the other, I mean, these are not starters. Manny with a big thumbs up. Manny and Bogish, big Giants fans.
I'm just curious, though. They were 3 of 10 on third down, but were some of those short yardage setting up fourth down?
Maybe.
Because I feel like they just never got the Giants off the field. That was part of the reason. Like the offense they only had 24 minutes on the field, and that was not a function of the offense. That's because the Giants got how many first downs did the Giants have? A million.
The Giants had 16 first downs to Dallas's 14. But if you're asking about how many fourth downs, the Cowboys they were 1 of 1.
Oh, they only had 1? Okay.
Yeah, it was the Giants who went 3 of 4 because they were in catch-up mode at the end. They had to go for
But it didn't feel like I thought the offense was fine last night. They just had no big plays whatsoever. They were just sort of playing with their food the entire game. They had all these opportunities, and they just missed a few plays, but they really weren't on the field a lot. The Giants extended drives. The Giants just couldn't hit that over-the-top play, and I think it's the new thing in the NFL. They're bend, don't break. That was as bend, don't break as you get last night. I mean, Andrew Bogus is here, and I know he's a Giants fan. I knew during all those long drives, I'm like, oh, that's going to end up in a field goal. There's no way this team's getting in the end zone here.
Which I was thinking for the Giants, not to get too into them because they're, whatever, but it makes you think if they had just had a kicker in the game against Washington, you're winning that game. You're going into this game 2-1, and now you're 2-2, and you're right there. Bogish is here with headlines. Yes.
Wait, which is a stick up for the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys knew they had no end zone threat. They have short receivers. Like I think they're like, get all the yards you want in the middle of the field. So I think that might be why they look so soft on defense. I'm now the Cowboys excuse machine right here, and I'm up for this challenge.
Makes me sick.
Disgusting. If you want to know everything, almost everything that's wrong with the Giants, just watch their last drive of the first half. You know, the one that took 37 minutes, and they went about 4.5 yards, and it included everything: dumb penalties, unaligned penalties, a guy dropping a pass that almost was a fumble return for a touchdown.
That's my team, by the way.
Yeah,
that's my team.
They went 3 yards forward, 8 yards back.
I was wondering, why is Al not talking about this? That looked like a touchdown to me. It's like, whatever.
Honestly, 15 plays, 52 yards. That's Rutgers. That's not the Giants. That's that's the college team down the road.
That's New Jersey football there.
It was funny, too, because at one point they were like, the two rookies were looking at each other. They didn't know where to line up. And it's like, but no one's criticizing anything. They're like, it's like Mo and Larry just ran into each other. Look at those stooges.
And then, by the way, one of them was wide open, and Jones didn't make a great pass, and this guy couldn't get a second foot down. Not that it would have counted because of the penalty, but he ended up getting open, and they didn't execute. There's the other time where the guy was open, and Daniel Jones underthrew him by 5 yards, so it was a pick negated by a flag. I mean, they suck, man.
Can I raise awareness about something? I want to make a call. I don't know if I need a go. I don't know if I need a GoFundMe, a telethon, whatever. America does not want to see Cowboys-Giants on national TV again. Please stop torturing America with this team. I know America's seen the Cowboys. Yes, we are usually interested in them. These matches with the Giants are unwatchable. They're not a good matchup. These teams always play boring games. Stop putting them on national TV. Just put them on Sunday at 4 p.m. What are we doing?
Give us Cowboys-Eagles. We'll take that.
Right. We are totally fine with the Cowboys-Eagles. This Giants-Cowboys crap is just unbearable. No more.
Last night's the best game they ever.
This crap is crap.
Last night was the best game they've ever played.
And exactly. You're
at least
100% right. It was actually a close game. It was still... It was like I watched. Like, come on,
At least it was a Thursday, though. That's the one thing they'll give you. It's not Sunday Night Football.
I know. Yeah. At least they moved that off. Yeah, no Monday, no Sunday Night Football. But enough. I'm a New Yorker, and I'm saying, please, we don't claim this. We don't want this. We have nothing to do with this.
The terrible stadium.
We apologize.
Everything looks awful.
Us. This is the NFL. NFL, please think about America when you're doing this. Do not put Cowboys-Giants on national TV.
Even skinny Brian Dable is off-putting. Like, there's nothing going on with the Giants right now.
Can we also talk a little bit about something else from Brian Dable?
Sure.
Did someone hit the Just for Men one shade too dark?
Oh yeah.
I was like, who is that? And I was like, it looked like he was. I was like, are you running from the police? Did you have to change your look to make sure that you didn't match the wanted poster?
Evil Brian Dale.
Isn't he bald? Or are you talking about his facial hair?
His facial hair. I think he put a little the just whatever, and it's just like, I imagine that's got to stink, because women, when something happens with our hair dye or whatever, we can just pass it off like, oh, this is what I was going for. Like I'm allowed to change my look. When a man does it and it's just like, oh, you went a shade too dark, you went a shade too red, you went a shade too whatever, you're just stuck.
Western New York legend right there.
What's the deal with Dable, by the way?
Legend.
How come Dable doesn't get mad anymore? Like last night I noticed, like,
I think they told him to knock that crap out.
Oh, but I thought it was because he lost weight. I don't know. He used to yell.
He's not angry anymore.
Like last night, I didn't see him get mad once.
He should have too, by the face mask that they pointed out, where they called the face mask on the Giants. The face mask was actually on the Cowboys. It was a 30-yard swing. That's when I knew we were like, oh, this game's going to suck.
That's how, I mean, first of all, why are we blaming the teams? The officials ruined last night.
Yeah,
no?
They did. Well, and they're like, man, and nobody from the Giants side even got upset about that. It's like, yeah, maybe somebody should hand Brian Dable a Snickers or something. Wake up.
Skinny Brian Dable.
Snickers.
Seriously.
His blood sugar's low.
Get this man some buffalo wings and blue cheese. ASAP.
I think you're onto something, Maggie.
I had this theory about Andy Reid. You know how Andy Reid used to always mess up the end of the game?
Yeah.
He'd have these he'd be coaching this incredible game, and then the end, all of a sudden and I'm like, I bet his blood sugar's low. How many times does this guy go 4 hours without eating?
Yeah,
not to be a jerk. I'm just saying, for real.
Let's get this guy some beef on weck and some Loganberry.
We're parents.
Manny knows the buffalo stuff.
As a parent, you get to know this deep inside. Like, the most important thing in your life is the blood sugar level of your children. Because if they are hungry, they are monsters. That movie Gremlins, that's about being a parent. If you don't, you basically food is all that matters. So you're right. Andy Reid's entire career has been based on what he eats.
You're so right. It's like my kid doesn't. Hopefully, we'll never need like a defibrillator. Just get him some goldfish crackers. It's stat. Do you realize the situation we're in right now?
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Get this kid an Oreo cookie. We're all going down.
But I go over the top too. This happens to me. If I ever am in a bad mood, it's because I'm hungry. I always go to my kids, have you eaten yet? And they always go, no, have you eaten, Dad? That's what happens to them.
I know. I pass that stuff to my kids too. I'm like, you're just mad because you're hungry. And I'm like, oh, wait, I'm hungry.
Yeah, nobody wants to hear that when they're hungry. They're like, why did you have, anyway.
Get a snack.
By the way, and I know we have updates too, but you guys, terrible anniversary gift advice last night has ruined my entire I had my anniversary night. I have no present. Bogus, you have no help. Maggie, you were way too expensive. So I got nothing. It's my anniversary day.
Just give her a handshake, call it a day. My God.
We did say maybe you should give her a bouncer tip of just $20 and a handshake.
You guys are you're well, here's this spa. It only costs $2,700.
Just put the $20 bill, tucked between
Fold
your
it
thumb.
up.
Yeah, and just,
like she had a good game at LSU in 1994.
Give her the booster handshake.
Yeah.
Just between us.
A bag
a
of
bro
cash.
hug and just
Don't have to tell anybody.
You know what? It's 2024. Why don't I just Venmo her?
Wink, wink,
with just a heart emoji.
We gave you some good ideas yesterday,
Yeah,
and you got super picky. I want to give her something. It can't be a gift card.
So
it
I
can't
did-
be a
What I actually
cooking class.
What I wanted to give you only costed $120.
Oh, only.
What was that?
Told you spa.
Okay, but
Starbucks
I don't
gift
want to
card.
give her an experience. I don't want to give her a card. I want to give her
To
something.
be fair, EJ, you did give a spa in a different state.
It's a state that's right across the river.
I know, but it's difficult.
it's a
It's like
big
getting to
river.
a Giants game. It's,
my God.
it's an
Somebody yelled
epic
about
poem.
tolls.
So actually,
There's a politician that got thrown out of office for that ride over the GW bridge.
so I did buy this bag I saw on TikTok. This cool leather bag.
That's going to go over well.
Well,
You said it was a $20 leather bag. That ain't leather.
Yeah.
That's pleather.
well, it gets worse.
Uh-oh.
Somehow my wife intercepted the Amazon package and opened it already and said, "Who's this crappy bag for?"
One of the daughters was
She thought
ordering crap
my
on
daughter
Amazon.
ordered a cheap bag. I'm like, "No, honey."
Happy birthday.
So then she goes,
And girls
"Oh,
blaming it on us.
Or anniversary.
Whatever.
Happy birthday.
whatever."
Cinco de Mayo.
I'll take
Whatever
this
day
from
it is.
you, Manny. You're not married. EJ, you're not married yet. Bogus, you can't give me any attitude. I'm
Manny
sure.
suggested a Starbucks gift card. It's why he's not married.
And a
stand by
bouncer
it.
tip.
I stand by it. $25. Love you, honey.
A lot of macchiatos with that.
Yeah.
It's you I'm most disappointed in, Maggie. You're a woman. You should know what to give another woman.
I said spa. I said nails. I said nails and spa.
You said flowers. You said moisturizer.
I said the fancy moisturizer.
Yeah, and then she told me how much it cost.
Listen, you want to look as young as your wife. You think that stuff's happened naturally? You got to have the good moisturizer. Well, maybe it's her good genes. But
I
anyway.
think the real thing is you know what you want to give her, but for some reason you're not pulling the trigger because we've given you every option under the sun. You're like, I don't know if I want to do that.
Get a
I don't wanna
Costco
do
membership.
that. I don't want to go. I don't want to go to New Jersey. I don't want to go to Manhattan. You know what you want to give her.
Wow, I don't want to go to New Jersey. That's a constant. I mean, and nobody's going to disagree with me with that. You should go to Fort Lee to a spa that costs $120. This whole thing sounds off the rails.
It's a big place
EJ.
for layovers
gosh.
for people who are flying to Asia.
They say Fort Lee is the most romantic place in the tri-state area.
That's the thing.
That's
like
people who
Fort
haven't been
Lee,
there.
Fort Lee is nothing but traffic and strip malls. It is.
Yeah.
I'm
There's
not
not even
sending
an
her to a
actual
spa.
fort. Even that would be cool.
I'm not sending her to a spa in Fort Lee. It's like, honey, I got you a gift certificate to this restaurant inside the Newark airport.
Have you seen that? That airport's nice now.
Yeah, there's some good spots.
Okay, we'll pause on that. Bogus is going to have some headlines for us coming up on the other side because there was a big emotional day yesterday. I think you're probably going to get to that, Bogus, in the Bay Area.
I'll edit now.
Making furious edits to make sure our fans in the Bay are not denied today. It's your day. 855-212-4227. If the owner of the A's won't give you a day, we will. Damn it. Maggie and Perloff, don't move.
You're in a 5-minute break. 4 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Chat not happy with Andrew Perloff. Disappointed.
About
Don't
what?
like it. Welcome back to the show, Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff.
For my optimism on the Cowboys?
No, that seems to be landing okay.
What is
Perloff,
it?
come on, step up your romance game. 15 years, find all the things she wants to do, enjoys that she denies herself, and give her time off. Perloff's blaming everyone else for not having a good gift for his wife for their 15-year anniversary, which is tonight, and you got nothing.
That's true. All she really wants is time alone to
not be with you.
but not be with the rest of the family and just watch, streaming services and just hang out and eat nachos. Like that's what she really.
Gift.
Yeah. How do I provide that though?
Instead of you and her doing a night away, you should the rest of the three of you and your two girls should leave.
Yeah. No, that would be the ultimate gift. But I can't really figure that out. Also, I can't make her. I can't make her work life less busy. I can't all of a sudden carve out 2 days for her. What am I supposed to do?
Clear the calendar. I have no idea. Bogish, what else is going on in the world today, sir?
You guys we're doing this as a bit. I really need advice. If somebody in the chat can tell me what
advice.
to do. This is your advice. It was all terrible.
Chuck said Dior sneakers. You gotta get $5,000 laying around.
He just spent $25 on a bag. What makes you think he's paying for Dior sneakers?
I can get you some Dion sneakers down on Canal Street.
I didn't even know Dior made sneakers. That sounds expensive.
Our chat is really some champagne taste.
Oh my God. These are $1,100 for a pair of sneakers?
That you probably can't even exercise in.
Maybe some Skechers.
If you really love her, you'll get her the Dior sneakers.
Yeah, it's the only way. Bogus, tell us something else happening today.
Well, I'm still reading up on this Oakland thing you keep mentioning. Here's A's manager Mark Kotsay talking about something.
You could feel the love for every one of us in this uniform representing this city of Oakland, and they were grateful.
This story is still developing. For me, at least, more details as the morning progresses. Sure. Meanwhile, the Giants had the ball for over 35 minutes of Thursday Night Football, but had 0 touchdowns. Daniel Jones had to watch Greg Joseph make 5 field goals instead.
We got behind the sticks with some penalties and some unforced errors, and just didn't execute the same as we had, leading up to that point.
In a shocking turn of events, 15 measly points, not enough to win an NFL game. Dak Prescott threw 2 touchdowns. The Cowboys beat the Giants again, 20-15 in Jersey. That is 7 in a row, 14 of the last 15 meetings going to the boys. This game also featuring multiple significant injuries. Giants rookie receiver Malik Neighbors suffered a concussion late in the 4th after 12 catches and 115 yards. The Cowboys losing D lineman DeMarcus Lawrence to a foot injury and Micah Parsons to a left ankle something.
Right now, I just iced it. I know very little. I got an MRI tomorrow, and I'm going to try to get back next week.
Parsons did say that X-rays were negative. The Dodgers clinched the NL West last night, a 7-2 win over the Padres. The Yankees clinched the AL East and a first-round bye with a 10-1 drubbing of the Orioles. Garrett Cole did not allow a run over 6 2/3. He struck out 5, and now he's running the board for us. Congrats,
I am severely
Garrett.
hungover. That party last night in the clubhouse was one for the ages. Let's go Yankees.
Still wearing his uniform.
Damn right I did.
I mean, I don't know if we could put another NY logo on your body anywhere, Manny. It's fully covered.
Be careful, Maggie.
I look like Brian Cashman threw up all over me, and I love it.
By the way, the biggest cheer last night during the game, during the Giants-Cowboys game, did you notice this? All of a sudden, Al Michaels is like, and they're cheering the Giants. And Kurt Herbstreit's like, no, I think they just put that the Yankees clinched on the Jumbotron, and that's what the cheer was for. And he was absolutely right.
Damn right he was.
An actual team with an actual shot at a title.
What a concept.
I'm amazed that Al and Kirk pulled that conversation off. And then Kirk followed that up by, when I was watching Kayvon Thibodeau as a sophomore at Oregon.
No, do you know Garrett Cole pitched at UCLA?
Yeah, UCLA.
It's like, wow, you did college baseball too?
Oh, yeah. Austin Wells, Arizona.
Thanks, Manny.
Aaron Judge, Fresno State. I can keep going. I could be the Kirk Herbstreit of the show if you guys want me to.
He knows college football stadiums and teams,
okay.
apparently.
Are you really good at where'd you go to college? We'll play that game later.
The bed.
What?
The bed, the music bed. We can play a Where'd He Go with Manny.
And what stadium did he play in? Because Manny is...
Oh, yeah, this is going to be awful radio.
What a tease.
Stay tuned,
Stick
America.
around for that. Our biggest gripe about last night's game between the Cowboys and the Giants, we'll tell you next.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
Last night was a frustrating night for Cowboys fans. Hey, welcome to the show, Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. They won. Don't get me wrong. They won. They won 20-15. They come into New York. They beat the Giants, and they won. And that's the most important thing, Perloff. But you got no answers. You know, you really can't feel a lot better, I don't think, about the Cowboys, about what the season's going to be. Have they actually fixed the run defense? I don't know, because I don't really think very highly of the Giants' offense. And so in some ways, I think you're back to 500. Good for you. You're not out of it by any stretch, but I think it's just a frustrating night for Cowboy fans.
If I'm a Cowboy fan, I actually feel relieved. I mean, you just got destroyed 2 weeks in a row, and you won a football game, and you were ahead the entire game. I know the final score was 20-15. It felt like the Cowboys could have broken that game open many times.
Instead they handed to the Giants, who really could have come down and scored. The Giants' offense just is not capable. They could not do anything but kick field goals last night.
Yeah, I mean, was there ever a moment where you thought, oh, the Giants are going to win this game? It was setting up where Daniel Jones would have a last opportunity, but they could get in the end zone at any point. Like, what was the fear there? It felt like the Cowboys fan, it was just an ugly game with all the flags and the humidity on the field. Everybody was slipping. Everyone was getting hurt. Honestly, you are worried about Micah Parsons' health, but other than that, I feel like that game was fine. That, like, to me, it stopped the bleeding from what happened the last 2 weeks, because that was a disaster.
No doubt. So if you're wondering about Micah Parsons, so he ends up, this is the final minutes of the game, as the Giants are trying to make this feverish comeback from being down 5 points. They need a touchdown. Obviously, there's about 3.5 minutes left to go in the game. They're driving, and Micah Parsons kind of ties up just with the offensive lineman. It didn't look particularly bad, but then he's hobbling off the field. He's carted into the locker room. X-rays negative, and then we'll see what happens from there. Meanwhile, DeMarcus Lawrence had already been out of the game, and he was back on the sideline, able to come back in, but was not as effective, clearly. And then you even had Stefon Diggs, who left at one point because he was dehydrated, but he was able to come back on the field too. Yeah. It was just a weird night.
Well, and you had Micah Parsons trying to help him with a cramp. That was an odd visual. But anyway, I can give you some optimism for the Cowboys.
Go ahead.
They're just going to get better on that offensive line. They're young. Tyler Guyton got abused last night. He's in his fourth NFL game. I mean, he could get a lot better. Cooper Beebe, their rookie center, is already awesome. They have Overshawn and Nealon on defense are both really young. This team could get better. If it was a normal team that with a normal coaching staff, you'd be like, ooh, this is kind of interesting. They have a really good quarterback. They have a superstar wide receiver. They have a bunch of young players who might develop over the season. That's honestly, if they weren't the Cowboys, they'd be an interesting team because there are some guys there. I mean, the problem is they're a little top heavy, but there are definitely some players. Even on defense, some of the young guys are going to be really good if they can stay healthy.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think
DeMarvion Overshawn, that dude is a guy.
The third-round pick out of Texas. No, I understand.
2 years ago, yeah.
Sorry, 2 years ago. I guess, here's the thing, though. He got hurt last year and didn't play. Here's the thing, though. It's like we had a caller earlier who was frustrated because he said he thinks that the team is soft, right? Yeah. And my question is, the identity, who's setting it? Is it not going to be Mike McCarthy or Mike Zimmer? Because if they don't have a good season, those guys are probably out. So now it's going to be a new head coach. Who's that going to be? And Dak Prescott, I think, sets the tone, but it's not a tough guy tone necessarily. I think Dak is tough, but that's not his MO, I don't think. I think he's holding people accountable. I think that seems to be a good teammate and a good leader, but I don't necessarily think he's the guy who's that dude. And it's got to be Parsons, but Parsons is a different kind of cat, right?
Well, there was an interesting moment last night. The Cowboys defense couldn't get off the field in the second half. I saw the Amazon had this video. It was right behind Dak. All the offensive guys are wandering around. Dak is on the sideline yelling, "Let's go," to the defense, trying to fire them up.
Okay.
I think he realizes there was definitely a spark missing last night with the defense. They were having a lot of trouble tackling in the secondary. But that being said, I read this game totally differently. They're like, we got to win.
Yeah.
We got to tend to, they get a mini bye here. I'm not sky is falling because they lost 47-10 to the Saints.
That was rough.
Yeah, this was a lot better. They made Daniel Jones look really good, which is kind of weird, but
Yeah, it's like Daniel Jones. Look at how he is when he's got an offensive line. He's got some weapons. I'm like, he's got one weapon. He's got one guy.
That's my team.
He's got Malik Neighbors, who, by the way, Malik Neighbors, in kind of a scary scene, ends up leaving the field with a concussion. And it didn't even look like it was that bad. Like the Devontae Smith last week, that was bad. Like his helmet's coming off. Like he looked like he was in a different universe. Malik Neighbors, it just sort of, he went to the ground. And when guys go to the ground, but they fall forward, I feel like we don't really think about it. When it's the back of the head, maybe, or up under the chin, then you start worrying a little. He just sort of went down, but he was down for a while. He was definitely concussed. And then this was the scene in the locker room after. So Brian Burns is asked about Neighbors, and Neighbors is actually in the locker room, and this is what goes down.
Hey, Lee, you good? Straight? No? Yeah.
Oh, that makes me feel great.
Well, that backfired. Maybe you don't yell out to your teammate who just had a concussion, hey, you all right? And then he goes, no. He goes, oh, no? You'll be fine.
He'll be all right. It's football.
Pour some salt on it.
Yeah. Yikes. That didn't go how anyone thought it was going to go. Maybe don't put him on the spot like that.
Yeah, where was Brian Burns? Actually, I didn't realize he made the trip to the Meadowlands last night.
Wow. Let's hear from Dak Prescott. Said the offense didn't finish strong.
Didn't finish the way that we wanted to, not to our standard. Left in the hands of the defense, which is credit to those guys for finishing, getting it done, not allowing any touchdowns. But we're an offense that can finish better and score more touchdowns than we did tonight. So we've got to look at ourselves in the mirror and go get that done.
Meanwhile, here's Dak on the importance of the win, though, against the Giants.
It was huge, yeah, after obviously losing two, especially at home. Coming on the road, first division game. Division wins are always tough. As I said, then you add on the road before a long weekend. Puts a better taste in our mouth.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because all these games against the Giants didn't used to be tough. They were last night. But again, to me, is it about style points? Like, you don't feel great if you're a Cowboy fan. You don't feel like anything's really been fixed. But this is not also college football. You know, it's not a run up the score kind of thing. But it was a game at the end. It was a game with 3.5 minutes left to go. That's not what you want.
Yeah, but all the penalties, you can't evaluate anything. There were way too many penalties last night. I'm not sure what was going on with the officials. They did slow down in the second half because New York obviously said this is unwatchable. This is a bad product. I think they went 6 minutes into the third quarter without throwing a flag, and Al Michaels was like, what is going on here? This is amazing. But I would not evaluate anything off last night because the field was garbage. That is no doubt about that. It was super humid. Guys were cramping everywhere. The question, if they stay healthy, I'm telling you, this is not over. This is not over for the Cowboys.
855-212-4227. So you are welcome to weigh in on that. Cowboys calls, welcome the entire show. This was an interesting scene yesterday afternoon. Did you guys catch what was going on in Oakland yesterday? So it was the final game of the Oakland Coliseum. This has been a story that's been around for a really long time about whether or not the A's could get a new stadium. The Coliseum is, in shambles. You got literally raw sewage running through at some points. There's a possum family living in the opposing radio booth. Like, it just needs upgrades. And, of course, like we've seen many, many times in the past, local politicians and owners of the teams just couldn't figure it out. And you saw Mark Davis has been very pointed with his criticism of the A's about how they wanted to try to make it work, but he leaves for greener pastures in L.A. Now the same thing's going to happen to the A's eventually. And it was a sad day, Perloff, for the fans in Oakland. It was an emotional day. This is a franchise that has a really proud history. But to be honest, it's been one of those franchises where anytime you feel like you had a good prospect and a good player you are developing, the clock was on to see when that player was going to get traded somewhere else. And I think that weighs on a fan base. And even despite that, there were, playoff appearances here and there. But it just got to a point where it's unfortunate because I feel like the team attempted to run the fans off. And to the A's fans' credit, they showed up in full force yesterday and tried to make themselves, and not just yesterday, they've been showing up to show how displeased they are with ownership and how bad this thing got.
Yeah, no, that was really sad. It's funny. I've been following the story like everybody all year, but when it happened last night or yesterday afternoon, I'm not sure if you had the same reaction. Like, oh my God, like this is really happening. I mean, we've been knowing about this story forever. And the thing about the A's, there were so many false starts about them leaving. Now, there was a real finality last night, and like the emotion, I was surprised. I was like really sad. Somebody put the video of the last play into the Moneyball music. You guys know that soundtrack they have in Moneyball whenever there was a big hit. I was like, oh my God, this is actually kind of sad because up until this point, it was infuriating. It was just like, I wasn't sad for A's fans. I'm like, oh my God, you must be so upset with this crappy owner. And then last night, there was real sorrow about this. That being said, like, this whole situation has to change, right? I mean, whatever, it was not sustainable. Like either they leave or they just take that team away from him. Like they had to do something different.
I mean, you're not going to take the team away from the owner.
You can't, right? I know there are a lot of people who are not happy with that guy.
Yeah, but I think when we see teams get taken away from owners or people forced to sell, it's usually like a Jerry Richardson situation, right? Where he's doing inappropriate things and being inappropriate, or like the owner of the Phoenix Suns who was acting terribly to his staff and to the people who work there.
Well, yeah, but I do think that there probably was pressure internally to John Fisher to spend more money, get out of Dodge. I'll bet you, Jerry Richardson, for example, yes, he got in trouble, but they were dying to get rid of that guy too. I do think. Same with Donald Sterling.
Donald Sterling got caught in a hot mic, and I mean, he should have been gone way before that. He was just flat out racist.
I do think that there is pressure probably to get rid of John Fisher. I mean, there has to be. The other owners are like, what is this?
See,
you don't think so?
I don't know, because at the end of the day, if they get a team in Las Vegas, I think they're going to say mission accomplished. And you see how Vegas, I think, has been good for the Raiders. And I think they'll love that. Vegas loves this. They love being the sports town. Like, they're all about it. And so I'm not sure. Let's go to Mike in South Carolina as a thought on the A's situation. Good morning, Mike.
Wake up, Maggie. Good morning.
Never heard that one before.
Yeah, I was a drummer back in the day. I wasn't a singer. I remember listening to you on the other station, New York. I'm originally from Nassau County.
Thank you.
Yeah, the Oakland A's, it is. I was watching that last night. Historic, 57 years. Yep. And I mentioned to you 1973 World Series at Shea, night game, cold. I'm walking through the Plays parking lot with two friends, and I see a pink Cadillac, black ragtop convertible, California plates. Say, hey. I said to my friends, hey, this is Willie Mays' car. Oh, it's cold, Mike. Go in the car, you pansies. Go in the car. And I shake Willie Mays' hand. The history of the Oakland A's, and it's tough. It was a mausoleum, like he was saying. It needed a serious upgrade with possums living in the, everything.
No. Mike, we know, and it was sad yesterday. Thank you for that story. I think, did you call us? I think when Willie Mays passed away, and we heard that story. It's a great one for Willie Mays. Listen, I feel for the A's fans because, again, I felt like ownership was driving them out. They wanted to come. They wanted to support their team. I think they wanted to be a baseball town, along with the Warriors, who fans in Oakland supported the Warriors when it was like the Andres Biedrins years and the Ike Diagu years. They were passionate about the Warriors long before Steph Curry got there, and they actually started winning. Their tickets were always expensive. I think this is a city that actually, an area, the East Bay, whatever, I think they are good sports fans. And I think it's the ownership and local politics, and in this case with the A's, certainly ownership, that keeps messing with them and driving them away when they actually do want to be supportive.
That being said, I do get the Warriors move. That one is a different thing altogether. I mean, I think they had there's so much money in San Francisco. Like, I get why the Warriors did that. And I don't think that's the same. That's a totally different thing because there's already the Giants in San Francisco, so the A's couldn't move over the river.
Sure.
It's weird too because I don't understand. Every time I've been to Oakland a few times, my in-laws are out in the Bay Area. It seems like there's more money coming into Oakland than any city on planet Earth. Like everywhere around there, the money, and why they couldn't afford an upgrade at the stadium. To me, I think the owner was screwing around and he wanted out.
Definitely. And that's what makes it so infuriating when the owner, sends out this message on social media saying, we did everything we could. You didn't. We know that's not true. We did everything we could. That's not true. I wish I could go to every single A's fan and tell them how much I appreciate them. You don't. That was the most hollow, gaslighting type of statement. And meanwhile, this dude has not done an interview with any media outlets, I think, in years, from what I heard. So you're not talking to the fans. You're one-way PR crafting some kind of statement that was soulless and heartless and empty. Just call it what it is. You see dollar signs in Vegas.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Absolutely. And I feel like John Fisher has conducted himself, quite frankly, like a coward in most of this, I also think a lot of blame needs to be handed to what I would argue are the other cowards of the other baseball owners and Rob Manfred. Because like Perloff said, like you would think that with this bad PR, with all these issues, and you're leaving a historic city, you would think that the league itself would kind of put your foot down at some point and say, hey, get a deal done, stay in Oakland. We do not want you to move to Las Vegas. We'll find some other way to get to Las Vegas. They never did that.
Right.
They allowed John Fisher to do whatever he wanted, to gaslight however he wanted, to tell lies however he wanted. And he never got that pressure from within the only fraternity that matters for these owners, which is the other owners and Rob Manfred. I think that's why it's a sad day for me. I feel Major League Baseball failed Oakland. Not just John Fisher, not just the A's.
It's funny because we had David Sampson on the show a couple months ago, and he's the former president of the Marlins. And why he was always very skeptical that this was actually going to happen. It's like, I want to actually see the pen to paper. I want to see the moving trucks. I want to see this actually happening. And the reason why is he said this is backwards. You keep the team in Oakland. You do an expansion team into Las Vegas. That's where the real money is. Wait till the NBA goes to Vegas. I mean, that's where the money is for the owners, and instead they couldn't get this. They couldn't work it out with the city of Oakland, so now you're just moving a team, and that does very little for the other owners. So in that way, I'm kind of surprised because you get such a windfall. Every team gets to split a massive check when a new team comes into Major League Baseball or any sport.
Yeah.
Because the TV money goes up and everything goes up.
Right, but think about the other owners that we're talking about. I mean, how many other owners are using the John Fisher playbook? What's happened in Pittsburgh all these years? What's happened in Cincinnati all these years? Like, look at all these other small markets, Tampa Bay, Miami. Like, look at all these teams and how they've done the same thing. Let's not spend money on a roster. Let's get good players and trade them. Let's make sure we're making a profit over anything else, regardless of what the fans think, how good the team is. We don't care as long as our bottom line is being inflated. Like, that's all these guys care about. So they see John Fisher. They don't see this as some crime. That's the problem. They don't see this as an affront. They see this as, well, he's doing business, and this is how business has to be done sometimes. And it makes me sick, and it makes a lot of people sick, and it's a real shame.
Sad day yesterday. 855-212-4227. And also, did you see, like, people setting off smoke bombs, people running onto the field? It was a wild scene, too.
It is Oakland. So,
by the way, and they thought it was going to be even worse. I think they were afraid they were just going to tear the whole joint down afterwards.
Wouldn't be hard. I mean, the place is basically held together with duct tape. 855-212-4227.
Somebody's going to take home Mount Davis.
I mean, he's far away. 855-212-4227. Okay, you're welcome to weigh in. We're on in the Bay Area. We know this was a tough day yesterday and has been a tough few months and quite frankly, years. You can also weigh in on the Cowboys last night. Did you learn anything about your team? All you Cowboys fans out there. Coming up, got a big college game coming up this weekend. Who's under more pressure? Kirby Smart, Kalen DeBoer, and the Alabama-Georgia showdown. Got that and so much more next.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 4 minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. .30 seconds remaining. .15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Where we're going here, Manny. Is this about the Alabama-Georgia game this weekend? Welcome back to Maggie and Perloff. Music themes that match sports. That's what we do here. You could have done something off of the Giants-Cowboys, too. Is there a song about flags?
Probably the Star-Spangled Banner.
Yeah.
That would have been an interesting rejoin.
Anyway.
Does everyone have to stand up?
We're getting fired up for that game this weekend, and it'll be nice to see any other game besides last night's game.
Can't get me worse than last night's Cowboys win over the Giants. But no, I'm expecting Georgia-Alabama to be a lot more entertaining.
Yeah, you never know. Any game can be boring. But the thing about last night's game, I am maintaining, like, you're acting like the Cowboys, as the show goes on, lost in a sense.
No.
Not acting as lost, but the energy I'm getting from you and a lot of fans on social media is this was not good. This was good. They walked away with a W after losing badly 2 weeks in a row.
I'm just sort of shrugging my shoulders.
What is a shrugging your shoulders? Like, that's a loss. A shrugging your shoulders after a win is a loss.
I don't know. What did we learn? Nothing. We learned nothing.
We learned that they're 2-2 and not 1-3.
That's fine, but the amount of flags, the Giants as an opponent, all the weirdness from last night, I don't think you walk away and you're like, all right, well, they solved this and they solved this and they did this. I walk away, I'm like, I still don't really know how good this team could be. But meanwhile, the same actually could be said for Georgia and Alabama, not to left turn you right there, but how good are those two teams, I think, is another really great question. And this is a really amazing test for both of these teams in Alabama on Saturday night.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. That's what I was saying. We don't know that game's going to be good because Georgia was terrible against Kentucky. Alabama stunk against USF. So it's a weird season, too. The way college football works out, you have no idea who these teams are after 3 weeks because of the September schedule. This is going to be good. I think we should do a little show bet because I'm picking Georgia. I think you're picking Bama.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's put some action on it. Well, I guess we do picks at the end of the day.
Yeah, we're already going head-to-head. We'll do that a little bit later on. We do 2 college picks. We do 3 NFL picks for a 5-pack. But I asked who is facing more pressure. Is it Kirby Smart or is it Kalen DeBoer? I mean, I think that right now, I still think Kalen DeBoer is in a little bit of a honeymoon.
Totally.
And Kirby Smart, meanwhile, despite having the obviously won a championship over Alabama and Nick Saban in 2021, was 1-5 against Saban. And now you go into Tuscaloosa. It's the first time we've had a road favorite in forever in that stadium. And this is a moment here for Kirby Smart. It's not Nick Saban on the other side anymore. And you come in with a really great team, obviously. And I think this probably means a lot. It's the guy who won 4 national titles with Alabama as a defensive coordinator.
Are we allowed to say the quiet part out loud, though? It's a 12-team playoff. It's not quite the same. And we know it. We know that both these teams are going to be there. Right? I mean, hopefully. I mean, the SEC is so loaded. But it's not like it used to be with Alabama LSU game of the year. Both, you said who's been under pressure. They both can afford a loss here. And, neither team, there's no reason to smirk at that. There's no way the team that loses is getting dinged in the 12-team playoff.
Maybe not, but the rest of the SEC has some real challengers.
I think Alabama's schedule works out pretty well. They'll be okay. And Georgia's just good.
Listen, you talk about 1 loss, okay, but are 2-loss SEC teams getting in?
Georgia or Alabama, 2 losses, 100% getting in.
I'm not sure about that. 855-212-4227. Let's quickly go to Carl, who's in Corpus Christi, Texas, wants to talk about the Cowboys from last night. Carl, Perloff is saying that I'm treating this like a loss, even though it was a win. How are you treating this?
I'm glad for the win. They should have won by more. But Mike McCarthy's time in Dallas is done the end of this year. 5 straight years, stupid penalties has been their hallmark. They have thrown away many victories with bad penalties, and they had the chance to do it last night. The lucky thing was bend don't break, and the Giants didn't get any touchdowns.
Right.
I was glad they won. I've been a Cowboys fan since the 60s. But it was disheartening to see all that talent not quite doing it.
Right.
Well, to Carl, one thing, they were not stupid penalties. They had a rookie left tackle who was getting beat by a Pro Bowl level defensive end, and he was grabbing him. Like that wasn't like talent. That was like he was desperate because that's a hard matchup.
The holding penalties aren't what I'm talking about. It's the mental lapses, the illegal procedures, the stuff that shows the lack of discipline of a Mike McCarthy team. This has been consistent ever since he's been there. He's got talent, and they have lack of discipline and dumb penalties all game long, every game.
Carl, thank you.
That's my frustration.
Yeah, I hear you. Thank you for the call. I don't know if anyone can call it right now if Mike McCarthy's still the coach. There's nothing. I don't think there's anything in the regular season that he can do to seal his fate. It's going to be all about the playoffs if they get there. Let's get to Andrew Bogish. He's got headlines for us this morning. What's up, Bogs?
Good morning again, guys. Your headline sponsored by Prize Picks. Football season's here, and Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. Download Prize Picks, use code M&P, and get a $50 credit instantly when you play $5. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details. Yes, the Cowboys are back, as far back as a 2015 win on a Thursday night in Jersey can take you. Mike McCarthy may be more relieved than happy.
Winning's always a great thing, especially on the road. Road wins are the best. Division games, you can add another layer to it. So, yeah, we feel great about what we accomplished tonight, but I think it's, for the fourth week in a row, we realize that we have a lot of work.
The good stuff is Dak Prescott going 22 for 27 with a pair of touchdown passes, and the defense holding the Giants to 5 field goals and a 26 yards rushing on 24 carries. The bad is from the 2015 final is scoring just those 20 points, 11 penalties, and injuries to Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence. Parsons said x-rays were negative, but he'll get an MRI today on his lower left leg. The Giants have now lost the last 7 games, 14 of the last 15 meetings with their rivals. But this time, Brian Dable's team only lost by 5 after getting outscored last season 89-17.
Again, the result stinks. It hurts. It's painful. You work your butt off. We had a good short week. But we played the game, the way we needed to play it.
And the whole game mattered, unlike the 2 last year, which were over very, very quickly.
There's baby steps. Mm-hmm. Every minute sort of mattered in this game.
The Giants also have injury concerns this morning. Rookie receiver Malik Neighbors caught 12 passes for 115 yards, but then suffered a fourth-quarter concussion. Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel said yesterday it is too early to name his starting QB for Monday night with the Titans. Again, he is picking between an injured Skylar Thompson, Tim Boyle, Snoop Huntley, or retirement.
I mean, who actually wins in that 3-headed monster? I think you got to go with Snoop,
the
right?
Pro Bowler. It can be Boyle.
Make a Pro Bowl.
I saw a thing on Snoop against the spread. Not good.
Is that going to be one of your picks?
I don't even know what to do with that game.
Why haven't they brought in another quarterback besides Snoop Huntley? They're holding out hope that Tua's really going to be back and he's going to be fine the rest of the season. Like this never happened.
Yeah, I know.
His brain didn't get crunched, and we all didn't watch it on Thursday Night Football.
Yeah, it seems like they're way overconfident in that. I have no idea what's going to happen here, but the other side of the ball is also concerning.
You know how people are talking about Mike McDaniel's new look?
Yeah, the curly hair,
how
the
he
drug
looks.
dealer look a little bit. Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, is this dude? Hello, we're not checked out here, are we?
No, now what's he supposed to do? The team gave him a quarterback. I mean, the whole thing is contingent on Tua's style of play. Once you pull Tua out of that formula, and you don't have a backup quarterback. And I wonder, too, I heard a Dolphins reporter say that Tua didn't really want a veteran in the room with him. That's
I heard
possible.
that also.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about that report. I'm not saying it's not true, or the beat writers know what's going on. That doesn't really sound like Tua, and they just paid him.
Wait, I'm not sure I follow. I don't think any young quarterback wants a $10 million backup behind him. They don't want Joe Flacco there. I mean, you think Deshaun Watson's the only one who didn't want Joe Flacco. I'm sure a lot of starters don't want Joe Flacco.
I get it, but you got paid. And same with Deshaun. The money that you have is guaranteed for the most part. It's not getting taken away from you.
I think it does sound like Tua. This
really?
guy,
this
guy was complaining about what happened since his rookie year.
Hurts? I don't know. But going back to college,
I mean, this is a guy who's been complaining about what happened with Brian Flores, which is, in this day and age, almost ancient history. He does sound like a guy who is secure or insecure about his status on the team.
He feels sensitive. You're right. I forgot about the Brian Flores thing.
That's what the money's for. Not to quote Don Draper, but isn't it?
But he got that money in the summer. You're talking about trying to put a backup behind you. You're talking about signing a guy probably in February or March. He wasn't paid yet at that time. So it's not like he had the money yet. So I don't know why he even had leverage. I don't know what. I don't know what the hell they were doing.
I wonder if Miami was nervous to be do you pay a guy $50 million that acknowledge that his health is a major concern by signing a high-end backup?
They had Mike White in the building.
No, I mean,
where's Mike White right now? By the way,
Bill's practice squad.
Yeah, they could bring Mike White back today. I mean, Mike White does Mike White have more touchdowns or interceptions in his career?
I trust him.
I don't think
I trust him more than Mitchell Trubisky. I hope they don't. I hope he doesn't leave Buffalo.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure Mike White's the answer either.
Mike White has 9 picks, 13 picks, 9 touchdowns.
Well, most of that was for the Jets.
That's for his
to
career.
be fair.
Yeah.
Is that bad?
Yeah, not great. He had 1 3-interception game. I think that kind of threw off all the numbers.
Listen, Skylar Thompson was not going to be the answer.
You liked Skylar Thompson. You actually sat in that chair and said, well, Skylar Thompson put up a good fight against my Bills in the playoffs.
Yeah, but
yeah, then
they
you saw last week.
They still lost that game. I'm sorry, Bogues. What else?
This is why Temple, which is actually located in Philadelphia, is not Philadelphia's college football team. Hello, Penn State. The Owls taking a 42-14 home loss from Army West Point last night. Of slightly greater import, Steve Sarkisian said yesterday Texas still has not picked its starting QB for tomorrow's SEC opener with Mississippi State. Quinn Ewers and his oblique remain questionable. It took an extra day or two, but the Dodgers finally did it.
0-2 the count on the number 9 hitter Higashioka. The pitch from Kopech. Poked beyond the infield. Shallow right field. Taylor calling for it. And still, National League West division champions, the Los Angeles Dodgers, do it again.
That's from Dodgers Radio. 11 division titles in 12 seasons after the 7-2 decision over the Padres. LA scored 5 in the 7th to take the lead. The only bad news right now is that Freddie Freeman hurt his lower right leg running through first base last night. Now, as that highlight was playing, I actually thought the kind of nod to wrestling was going to go over well in this room, but EJ in my ear said you can't do that.
That's awful. And no disrespect
It's a
to the
boxing
announcer.
thing, right?
And it's wrestling and boxing. Combat sports have done it all. No, you say and still for world champions. You're not doing and still for division. And not for that team. That's bad. I don't like that at all. Sorry. You don't and still we're
It's
talking
for the
about
champ.
heavyweight champion.
Yeah.
Whatever division, cruiserweight, whatever you are, that you're a world champion. Like the Dodgers are very famously not world champions. Like they've been running this division forever, but that doesn't really matter. It's like you're the hardcore champion or something. Like, who cares about that?
Bogus. So you worked with Pete Bellotti for many years, right?
I believe so. Name rings a bell, yeah.
Were the random negative takes that Pete had, Rob? I think we have a new Pete Bellotti.
Oh, no.
I'm a great time.
Pete did an entire show in my headphones for 4 hours.
Yeah.
So EJ randomly being mad at a play-by-play cut is not that.
That felt like a little like, I'm not going to take it anymore, Pete Bellotti. Like,
I wasn't going to go on air with it until Bogus said it. But it was bad. I mean, and still for a division? No, that's weak. Not for the Dodgers.
Okay.
Bogus's schizophrenia makes a lot more sense now that Pete was doing a radio show in your ear for 4 hours.
There were times where...
How much was he talking smack about me and Pearl?
No, it usually was about other things, which created even more confusion because it was a completely disconnected train of thought.
Exactly. I don't think Pete was paying any attention to you and me.
But you'd think he would have realized that I was doing a radio show.
No.
And he would have let me listen to the show so I could react to the show.
What were the titles? Remember we had the Pete books? Like,
How dare you?
Yeah.
the bestseller. Yeah.
Get Lost.
Get Lost. Get the hell out of here with that.
Yeah.
Was the sequel to Get Lost.
I miss
that.
those.
The Mad Board's still outside. The Pete
How
Mad
dare
Board.
you? Yeah. Why Pete mad?
Yeah.
Why you mad?
A lot of explanations, and then just says Samter.
I love that one. That's the one where I'm just like...
Yes. Just afternoon show producer Mike Samter.
To be out of this studio for 2 months and to come back and see that and have no context at all was
I'm a
just
great time.
the
One
funniest thing ever.
Zach Wilson's girlfriend.
Yeah, Zach
Like
Wilson's
that?
girlfriend was
Zach
on
Wilson
there.
couldn't get
him
engaged
nuts.
because he was a bad quarterback.
Right.
Yeah.
How
Like
dare he get
Tyrod
engaged?
Taylor was on there. I'm like, what did Tyrod Taylor do?
I think he was a bad landlord or something
Yeah,
like that.
something like that. I mean, it's your backup quarterback.
I think Come On was the name of one of the Pete books because
Yeah.
that was the thing he liked to yell.
Pete was never more mad at us, and we love Pete obviously, but he was never more mad at us than the sitcom bracket.
Oh,
Just infuriated because really this was his turf, I think, and the fact that we didn't have Three's Company in the sitcom bracket. Now a lot of people were mad at that. Pete was incensed to the point where he broke off, defected, did his own bracket, and it was way more popular than our bracket.
He broke off and changed jobs. I feel like I can say this now. It's been long enough. We
Because
can't
of the
undo it.
sitcoms?
If you had never done the sitcom bracket, Pete would be sitting there right now instead of Manny being mad at Steven Nelson's Dodgers call.
Wow. I mean, really just a step-by-step Three's Company was enough to put him over the top?
It was a deeper thing. It was that you guys that's his wheelhouse, and you guys didn't use his expertise.
We put Alf in there
hurt.
as a nod to Pete.
Wasn't enough. Wasn't enough.
Yeah.
And that was the one I got the most crap for, too. Like, what the hell is Alf doing there? I was
know.
like, listen.
We had to do it because of Pete.
Taking care of my guy.
I almost left after
this crap is crap.
The one-hit wonder bracket almost pushed me away.
Your name's on the show.
I know, but I would argue for songs. You'd be like, nah, nobody likes Tainted. I've never even heard of Tainted Love. I'm like, that's like every one-hit wonder.
I feel like
the
sitcom bracket was way better seated than the one-hit wonder. One-hit wonder, we had like crazy seeds moving on.
Yeah.
I don't know. Family Guy at 14, people were mad.
That was the one. But it lost in the second round or whatever.
Listen,
it wasn't like it went that deep.
We argued about just whether animated anything could be in the sitcom bracket. But we had Simpsons as a 1 seed and then argued about all the other animated shows.
Exactly. I mean, again, did you want Flintstones and Jetsons and all those shows in there too? Like, I mean, like, what are you going to do?
No, Perloff didn't want any kid shows in there.
Right, which
I wanted to go
ridiculous.
with I didn't even want us to pick the bracket. I wanted to go with Entertainment Weekly's top one, but you guys are like, no, we're smarter than them.
Oh, that's weak sauce.
I mean, our taste is way better than theirs.
I just felt like we were bringing personal bias into some of these brackets. I've always thought that, like, just let the consensus decide, and then the voting will determine what happens.
Oh yes, you know where there's no personal bias, right? Hollywood and Hollywood trades. Definitely no bias there. And how they cover things. Come on.
What did we learn here? This is why Pete left?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's why he's gone. Now here I am complaining about wrestling stuff, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
one reason only.
Yeah, I mean, did it really? I mean, there are about 5 things. If you're actually tracking, EJ, you're becoming the new Pete. It really is.
I just don't think that, I don't think that saying that call for a division title for a team that is the highest payroll, second highest payroll I don't think that that's crazy. And still, that can't be the call.
Well, it's for their fans.
Their fans don't care about the division.
They shouldn't. 855-212-4227. Bogish, thank you. Okay, lots more to get to, including we have an Against the Grain coming up later in the show. That's been a minute. I'm excited about that. Also, is one quarterback not doing enough to help his team win? We get to that next. Maggie Perloff.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining.
They miss his voice, they grumpy flare. But Andrew Bogusch, he's breathing fresh air. Where's Pete? Oh, where's Pete Bellotti? He won't show up and it's getting real shoddy. Maggie's lost, Perloff's in despair. But Bogusch, he's dancing with a Pete in his hair. With his hair. Pete's got excuses a mile long. Won't come to work, it's the same old song. Bogusch's ears are finally free. No more Pete talking constantly. Where's Pete? Oh, where's Pete Bellotti? He won't show up and it's getting real shoddy. Maggie's lost, Perloff's in despair. But Bogusch, he's dancing without Pete in his hair. Whoa. Where's Pete? Oh, where's Pete Bellotti? He won't show up and it's getting real shoddy. Maggie's lost, Perloff's in despair. But Bogusch, she's smiling without Pete there. Maybe he's on a beach just soaking up the sun. While we're here missing him, oh, the fun's undone. But not Bogusch, no, he's feeling grand. With Pete out of work, he's a free man. Where's Pete? Oh, where's Pete Bellotti? He won't show up and it's getting real shoddy. Maggie's lost, Perloff's in despair. But Bogusch, she's loving the peace in the air. Whoa. Pete's MIA, he's close to the show. But Bogusch says, man, I'm glad he won't show.
Welcome back, Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. I'm going to get to something that Perloff is doing. You did this yesterday, and now you're doing it again today, and it's got to stop. Should I do this now?
Shaking my head to the music?
No.
Oh.
You forgot your pass to get around the building.
No, I got a new pass.
Because now you keep asking people, can I use yours to go to the bathroom?
No. I'm okay right now.
Okay, you solved this problem.
Well, I can't tell you. There's a hack that I think Bogusch turned me on to.
Okay.
So I can't say what it is because of security concerns.
Meanwhile, you can't move around this building. It's like Fort Knox around here.
Yeah,
I don't know what
I
the
was
state
shocked.
secrets are in here. But
When I first started working here in this building, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, why do I have to hit my ID 4 times to get to the water cooler? You explained that there were certain people who needed security or something.
Yeah, I think there's some personalities here that they wanted to probably shield from the general public. But Manny just told me, he's like, yeah, Perloff is leaving his cups and stuff in the bathroom. Why do you take that stuff in there? Don't take a cup into the bathroom. Like a water cup.
Yeah, no, because I was going. Thanks, Manny. You actually told Maggie that story?
Hey, listen, she said that you have the attention span of a squirrel, and I said, hey, that reminds me, he just left his cup in the bathroom.
I was walking by, I was checking my hair, and I had my cup because I was going to get water because I'm always dehydrated.
Yeah, we talk for a living.
Yeah. Anyway, Manny and I had a nice interaction in the bathroom.
Manny now giving you double thumbs up. Let's go to Josh. He's in Philadelphia. Josh wants to talk about the A's moving to Sacramento. What's up, Josh?
Good morning, Miss Gray. How are you?
Good.
Good morning, Mr. Perloff.
Morning, buddy.
I had 2 things. I was going to talk about the 76ers moving, but with the Oakland A's, when it comes to any West Coast baseball teams, I can't stand the Dodgers or the Giants, so I would root for the A's. And it doesn't overly bother me. If I was from Oakland, I guess it would bother me. I think it's a fresh new start for them to go somewhere else. I was wondering what you guys think of that.
See, the only problem is you're taking the same owner. I think the Raider fans would probably love it if Mark Davis would sell the team. They could go to Vegas and maybe you do get a fresh start with a different owner or something like that because the culture has been so wonky. I think the A's fans, it's like you're bringing the same problems. It's bringing the same baggage to a new house.
Well, if you think about it, though, I mean, I think no more than 6 years ago, I mean, the Oakland A's were talked about as being an upcoming big team. You know, they were very close to the playoffs. They just didn't seem to make it.
No, they made the playoffs recently. It's just they will sell off their best talent. That's the model. You know, and Josh, thank you. And I know the 76ers are also in one of these situations with a new stadium, right? That's a big deal.
I mean, there's no, they're not going to lose the Sixers. There was some thought that Jersey, but that's a totally different stadium issue. Do you want your stadium in the middle of the city screwing up traffic?
Right.
That is I think a lot of teams face that. It's a totally different dilemma, and there are a lot of opinions on that one.
Yeah, I mean, to pause on Philly for a second, because we've all been there. Obviously, as a show, we went to WrestleMania, which was in the Link in April. And I like what cities like Philadelphia do. Kansas City does this as well, is you kind of put all your stadiums in one spot.
Well, yeah, but Kansas City's are real close to downtown. I'm a big proponent of keeping your stadiums in the middle of a city when you can. I feel like they're like a centerpiece, like Camden Yards in Baltimore is so cool. I just if you can do it traffic-wise and people take trains in, don't you love an in-city arena? I think that's really neat.
Yeah, I just like when the arenas are all near each other and next to each other. I know, obviously, when you're playing on the same day at the same time, it gets a little wonky, but I love that. It's like you know how to deal with the traffic. Everyone understands what, and Philly is like that, you know?
But the Minnesota basketball stadium, the Indiana basketball stadium, that's so cool because you're right in the heart of downtown. Yep. If you can make it work, I feel like in-city stadiums. Philly, those stadiums are okay. It's all in South Philly, but there's nothing nobody's oh man, that's a must-see stadium like the Link, or it's not like a destination stadium. It's not
but they're
beautiful.
all right across the street from each other.
Yeah, it's all right. I would here in New York, I wanted the Jets to play in the city and not that's the worst. New York has one team, Buffalo. You know,
it's 8 hours away from New York City.
I don't like this. I understand for traffic reasons, but I think generally the football and baseball stadiums in the city are better to me. I don't. And listen, the Oakland thing, I just don't understand why have all three teams left. I think it's tough. It's become one of the most improved real estate situations on planet Earth.
Yeah.
And they lost all three teams.
Well, I think it's hard for fans to look at an owner. Let's take the A's, for example, who is the heir to the Gap fortune. Yeah, the jeans and all that. And you're making money. And you are not willing to subsidize more of the stadium. And it just doesn't square. And by the way, if baseball's a bad business as an owner, then get out. I know the Oakland A's wouldn't sell for the same as the Dodgers for $2 billion or whatever, but if baseball is not a good business and you're really hemorrhaging money, then get out of it. Then sell it. And that's why you get the sell the team chance. And that's why fans are infuriated. Let somebody else come in who actually wants to keep it there. Look what happened to the NBA. You have a team in Seattle, and then new owner comes in, wants to move the team. They can't get a thing done with the city of Seattle. And now what's always been the talk ever since the day they left? How do we get a team back in Seattle? And I think you're probably maybe going to see the same thing in a couple of years. How can we get a team back in the Bay Area, in the East Bay? How do we get a team back in Oakland? Maybe with an owner who actually wants to work with the city a little bit more and really help subsidize the new stadium.
These guys, they value the profit and value the status symbol of being an owner over all those things that should be important when it comes to being an owner. Because you're right, if you can't hack it and you don't got the bread, that's the problem. I know there are guys who are worth $700, $800 million, but some of these guys are broke boys when it compared to other sports owners. And they're going in there and they're like, well, I need to make a profit because this is not as profitable as I thought it would be. Well, you know what? Get out. There are plenty of other billionaires who want to buy teams who will keep their teams there. But these guys want to stay owners because it's a good status symbol for them.
And also, there's revenue sharing in baseball. Talk to the Yankees about it. They hate the fact that they have to do it, but they do. And nobody's crying for them, obviously. But clearly, you're making money.
Yeah.
Frustrating. 855-212-4227. Got a lot more to do, including our biggest gripe from last night's football game.
You're in a 5-minute break.
He's close to the show. But Bogus says, man, I'm glad he won't Niners can't defend. They're letting every team score, never seems to end. From the Bay to the city, San Francisco's looking rough. But the real question is, what's Peter Bellotti? It's tough. All the Rex teams are all out of luck, but Peter Bellotti, he's nowhere. What the heck? Forget the defeat, fans, forget the end zone, cause finding Bellotti's like finding the unknown. The Warriors ain't winning, the Giants fall apart. The Niners can't tackle, it's breaking Greg's heart. But while they miss tackles and while they drop throws, where in the world Peter Bellotti goes, nobody knows. Oh, all the Rex teams are all out of luck, but Peter Bellotti, he's nowhere. What the heck? Forget the defeat, fans, forget the O-line. Peter Bellotti's been missing for all the time. Perloff's at the wheel, goes fucking mess, dressed like his Perloff's at the wheel, Neat goes talking Mets, dressed like he's ready for fantasy camp bets. Perloff munches tacos, Neat goes talking stats, but man, this ride's slower than a game of cats. Dave Matthews Dodge just kicks in the sound. Perloff taco talk, Nico barely looks around. They're headed to San Antonio, but who really cares? Peter Bellotti's nowhere, just up in thin air. Game, the liquidless left away, throwing downs and running fast, make defenders pay. But we all know the real story ain't the win or play. It's Bellotti stay back, they'll dodge another day with the meat. We're all starving here, promised us summer advice, but you always disappear. Stakes on the line, but you're off the grid. Bellotti's MIA, man, he always hit. But you always disappear. Stakes on the line, but you're off the grid. Bellotti's MIA, man, he always hit. Showing up to work, now that's not his style. He's out on a vacation, gonna take a while. He bet us stakes, but we'll never get our share, cause Bellotti's at home in his favorite chair. Where's the meat? Pete, we're all starving here. Promised us summer advice, but you always disappear. Stakes on the line, but you're off the grid. Bellotti's MIA, man, he always hit. Where's the meat, Pete? We're all starving here. Promised us some advice, but you always disappear. Stakes on the line, but you're off the grid. Bellotti's MIA, man, he always hit. To work, now that's not his style. He's out on a vacation, gonna take a while. He bet us stakes, but we'll never get our share, cause Bellotti's at home in his favorite chair. Where's the meat? Pete, we're all starving here. Promised us summer ribeyes, but you always disappear. Stakes on the line, but you're off the grid. Bellotti's MIA, man, he always hit. Packers won, but we won't win this fight. Bellotti's stakes, I'll never see the light.
One mission. Maggie and Perloff, coming soon to a station near you.
Peter Bellotti, Maggie and
Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
Morning cough.
Cowboys Radio Network. Welcome to the show, Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff, and it was a win for the Cowboys. What did we learn? Not a whole heck of a lot. Perloff, how you doing this morning?
Well, I mean, if you actually, said on the show yesterday, if the Cowboys had blown them away, that wouldn't have meant anything to you either.
You know, to me, style points in the NFL don't really matter. It's not that kind of league to me. You win the game you're in, right? And that should be enough.
So that means last night was good enough.
It was, to me, it didn't show me, wow, the run defense is fixed. Devin Singletary is not Derrick Henry. We already knew that. Daniel Jones is not Lamar Jackson. We already knew that. So the fact that the Cowboys won this game, they're now at 2-2. Fine, feel good about it, I guess, Cowboy fans, because you got to win. You were expected to win. I don't feel like I really learned a lot. Was it a decent game from Dak Prescott? Sure. It was an efficient game. It doesn't make me think the offense was explosive by any stretch of the imagination. And even though CeeDee Lamb ends up with, a fine game and he scores that touchdown that you just heard, and maybe everyone can exhale because no one was yelling at each other on the sideline and stuff, that's all well and good. But to me, it just showed that the Cowboys don't have a lot of weapons. They don't have nearly enough. And it's just something that gets reinforced from what we saw this offseason, which is, the run game is not robust enough. And their weapons on offense in terms of wide receivers are it's the CeeDee Lamb show, just like it was last year. And that was not good enough to get it done.
I totally agree with that, except that is by far the second biggest problem to me is stopping the run and
no doubt.
Tackling. I mean, they stopped the run yesterday, but they still couldn't tackle at all. CeeDee Lamb and Jake Ferguson aren't going to be able to do anything from the bench. You saw it last night. They had so many opportunities to get tackles for losses. They just couldn't wrap and bring down guys. They have basically, it was Overshawn would tackle the guy or he just would run free. Nobody else could make a stop. Parsons, I love Micah Parsons. He's so much fun, but he's not really a consistent run stop. He's not like an all-around defensive end killer, J.J. Watt kind of guy or Aaron Donald kind of guy. He's an amazing pass rusher. Last night he actually wasn't, but he's generally I think the biggest problem is toughness on defense. That is number one. If they can fix that, then that offense is fine. Are you really worried about the offense?
I kind of am. I mean, I think I can't imagine that the Cowboys would really be able to go toe-to-toe with a team in a shootout. That was not last night. That was not last night. Last night was a field goal fest. Last night was 20-15. It actually should have been 23-15, but Aubrey missed a field goal right at the end.
I saw them drop 35 and 40 on the Eagles last year. I think the much bigger problem is your offense needs to be on the field to score. And you saw the Ravens game. That was just, they weren't even there. Dak Prescott shouldn't even worn a helmet. He was never playing because Derrick Henry got first down. The week before was ridiculous. By far, to me, the bigger concern is defense.
Okay, so the fact that they held the Giants to 5 field goals. Again, this is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
What do I take away from this? You held the Giants to 5 field goals. Congratulations. Mission accomplished? No shot. And listen, next week they're playing the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's not an explosive offense either.
But see, that is the test. To me, can they hang in there toughness-wise with the Steelers? The Steelers have they're not talented. They're just going to smash mouth football. That's the real test for Dallas. Do they have any toughness? Is Mike Zimmer, Mr. Tough Guy, is any of that going to communicate to the defense? It hasn't yet this year, but if it does, then that's a winnable game. I mean, listen, you need 20 points to beat the Steelers. Right. They should be able to do it. I'm not sure they can. I think that's a real test of coaching here. Are they going to really man up?
Yeah, it's funny because you're mentioning the defense is definitely the bigger issue. I'm not going to disagree with you there. But you're saying the offense is totally fine, or they're on the sideline and Dak Prescott's, because the defense can't get the opposing offense off the field. But again, it goes back to the Cowboys where are they having enough sustained drives? They had a few last night, but they should have because the Giants defense and especially their secondary was totally ravaged by injury. They don't have a run game, which makes it also harder to get into the sustained drives.
Well, right. They actually got a little going in the second half last night. Rico Dowdle had a couple good runs. The ball didn't hit the ground when Dak. He had 5 incompletions, and 3 of them was Brandon Cooks, who's washed and cannot catch a football. So once they get Cooks out of the way, I'm telling you, this offense, Jake Ferguson's awesome. Did you see when he jumped that guy? He's great. CD's great. They're going to find. I know we've been waiting, but they got to find a third guy. That's the key. I just think that again, if the other team is running on you, your offense can't do anything. As a fan of several quarterbacks in the league, the most frustrating thing is like, oh, man, they just ran for another first down. You need rhythm on offense. You need to be on the field, and the Cowboys have not been able to do that.
Last night was also just a yuck of a game. It kind of actually looked like a game that should have been played like in terrible weather conditions, but they weren't terrible conditions. I guess it was humid, and the field is awful, we know, at MetLife Stadium. Yeah. But there were just so many penalties. I mean, if you want to look for a reason for the Cowboys to say nothing's fixed, 11 penalties. I mean, that's just more of the same. And
Thursday night, and those officials wanted to be the show. So
it was annoying.
They do have a problem. Their left tackle was getting beat consistently. Like, he was tackling the pass rusher because he had to. Those weren't dumb penalties. That's like Dak Prescott's about to get murdered. I better bring this guy down. Which is a problem. You have a rookie left tackle. They know this. The question is, will he get better throughout the season?
855-212-4227. Josh is in Long Island, New York, wants to talk about the Giants side of this. What's up, Josh? Josh, you there? Josh, we're going to put you on hold. Let's go to our pal, George, who's in L.A., wants to talk about what we saw in baseball yesterday, a little bit of a left turn from the football game. George, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Maggie and Perloff. Congratulations to my Dodgers. What a legendary team. And, a lot of people don't know, Maggie, but the Dodgers, when they left Brooklyn and they brought the Giants with them, and the Dodgers owner, thank God, paid for the Giants to move, they were going to go bankrupt because they needed a rival in L.A. and San Francisco. And all I can say is this Dodger team is very consistent. This year they had to fight. They had to knock off the Padres late to get into the division title. But I think that's good for the Dodgers because a lot of years they just skate, because they got a really good team. But this year they had to fight for it, which I think will help them in the playoffs. But our manager needs to go at least to the World Series because one World Series and 12 straight playoff appearances, that's just not good enough for a team like the Dodgers.
Well,
but
George,
thanks a lot, guys. Good morning.
Thank you. You're right. And to be honest, who counts the 60-game World Series outside of diehard Dodger fans?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny, though. The Dodgers don't get the same heat that the Yankees get for falling short in the postseason. Maybe they do, but for some reason, not that they get a pass. I mean, obviously, it's a huge story. But it feels harder on the Yankees. Maybe because I'm in New York. Is that fair to say? Like, who gets more flack for being a postseason failure?
Oh, I mean, I think the Yankees.
Yeah, me too.
But, I mean, the Dodgers should also get their fair share. That's what I'm saying. I don't think that 60-game season during the pandemic. Listen, I'm glad we all had sports. It was a great distraction. I appreciate the leagues and the players doing whatever they could to play. But that's not real. 60 games is not in any way indicative of a regular season of baseball. Of all the titles, the bubble title, this is the most fugazi.
I have a question. Does MLB need Shohei Ohtani to win some playoff games, much like the WNBA needs Caitlin Clark? Like, do they need him to be the face of the league and actually play in the postseason?
Him and Judge. He and Judge, whatever.
I feel like I think Shohei's on a different level. I mean, Judge is good, but Shohei's the freak. I mean,
Aaron Judge.
I think
Shohei's the biggest thing in the sport since like peak Barry Bonds during steroids.
Maybe if Shohei was also pitching in the World Series, I think it would be like the whole world is tuned into that.
I mean, I think the Yankees sell, but like I'd like to see a poll. If you could see one player play in the postseason.
Well, we've seen Aaron Judge play in the postseason.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, Shohei's a big deal to them, I think. Like, I think he is a potential big-time lift-all-boats player.
No doubt.
And when Aaron Judge has played in the postseason, it hasn't been very good at all.
He doesn't have his, signature moment yet.
Yeah, but if the Dodgers just disappointed again, I think that'd be a bummer ratings-wise. I think the Yankees will do ratings, but Shohei could be he could help. Like, you know how Ken Griffey saved baseball in the 90s? Shohei could do that. I think he's spectacular.
Manny has alerted us that there's a new sports influenced song out there, a new jam.
That's right. Yes, the same Dominican fella that I rejoined us with a couple of two weeks ago. He had a midnight release right in time for an American League Championship division. It's called the Soto Shuffle.
Let's hear it.
Everything for it.
Sara Chofa. Legend, one of one, el 22. Con todos los números que ha puesto, acabó con todo. El Bronx, Yankee, que viva New York. El Bronx, que viva New York. El Bronx, que viva New York.
Okay, it sounds great. I fade it all the way down. What's he saying?
Quite actually just saying Soto, 4-time batting champion, Juan Soto, Dominican Republic, Juan Soto.
I thought the shuffle was going to be how he kind of wiggles into his stance. You know, he's got like this booty shake thing that Juan Soto does. Kind of became pretty famous. That's not the shuffle?
I mean, I'm pretty sure once the music video comes out, again, midnight release, this is a brand new song. This song is eight hours old. So when the music video comes up, I'm pretty sure we'll see Juan Soto in there doing some shuffling.
I love it. It just says Juan Soto, 4-time batting champ, Dominican Republic.
Yeah,
Juan
more
Soto.
or less, Platano Power. We love Platano Power.
Absolutely love it. Okay, Nate is in Alaska. We talked a lot about the Oakland A's playing their final game in the Coliseum yesterday. Sad day. Nate, are you an A's fan?
I am not an A's fan. I'm actually, first off, I just want to let you guys know for definitely Perloff, because he asked, there's been no Bears sightings. There's only been one Bears sighting, and it's Caleb Williams. Sounds like he decided to come out of hibernation and do something.
We sure?
Actually, I kind of wanted to touch on that because we're such a small place, and this actually involves your guys' friend, Nate Thompson, because when the NHL had their lockout, our team, the Alaska Aces, they were the ECHL team that we had, which is 2 leagues down from the NHL, so people go up from there. When they had their lockout, this is how much the Aces meant to everybody. They went down and they played for the Aces during the lockout instead of going across the pond and playing over there.
Interesting.
So that's why I was listening to this. Obviously, we're not 64,000 people. I mean, this is a place that only holds 6,000 fans. And I just thought, because it devastated everybody whenever the place, and it wasn't even like they got bought out or anything. It's they couldn't afford it anymore.
Yeah.
So they ended up having to turn the Sullivan Arena into a homeless shelter, and sadly enough, the homeless people kind of trashed the whole place. But in a nice turnover, this year they reopened the Sullivan Arena. They put ice on it, and now the Anchorage Wolverines, which is a junior hockey team, they're going to be playing in it. So we're having sports back, and it's extremely, extremely exciting.
I think that provides hope for the good people of Oakland. I mean, if the Anchorage Wolverines can come back, why not the A's?
Yeah, they made it to the playoffs last year. But they were playing in a little smaller arena. But I mean, they were right there. And I'll jump to the last thing I wanted to say, because you were talking about the Cowboys.
Yeah.
You're saying there's no offense. I'm pretty sure their kicker's leg is titanium. That 60-yard field goal, he made it look like child's play. And I'm like, that's not a dome. He just went boop, and it went in. I was blown away.
He's a weapon. Nate, thank you so much. I think I followed most of that. But he said that when the Giants were going for it on the final drive, and it was like a 4th and 5 or whatever it was, they didn't convert. It was like, oh, Brandon Aubrey, all you need is another first down because of where the ball was, and you're already in his field goal range. And weird that he missed one at the end. It was like bizarre, but it is swirling winds out there. He's amazing.
He's great. By the way, that took a super dark turn when the homeless people trashed the arena. I didn't see that one coming.
It's like I don't want to cut somebody off because I'm never sure what's going to come out of people's mouths. Sometimes you got to just let them go.
So, wait, what were we talking about before the homeless people took over Sullivan Arena?
No clue. The Bears?
No.
The A's.
No. Wasn't that?
The Cowboys.
$25 Starbucks gift card.
The Sullivan Arena.
We were going to break down the Alaska Wolverines second line. No, you said something about the game last night.
What, Brandon Aubrey?
Yeah, Brandon Aubrey. Yeah. Dude, that guy's crazy good.
That's what you needed to get to? Just to tell us he's crazy good? We know.
That missed field goal was shocking. I think we were all like, oh my God, how did he just miss that?
Was that a bad beat, by the way?
Yes,
it was
100%.
terrible.
That's someone who
wasn't for me, though.
You at the under?
I had 4.5. Dallas 4.5.
The spread.
And it ended up also being 5.5. Where did it close at? 5.5?
I had 5.5.
That's a shame.
Most people had 5.5. That's what Al was talking about during the game. He's like, a lot of people need this field goal.
Yeah, I got it at 4.5, like a week and a half ago. So
That field goal felt like such a no-brainer. I couldn't believe. But here's another thing that happened that game. With about 2 minutes and 30 seconds left, Al's like, well, the Cowboys are going to 2-2 and the Giants are going to 1-3. I'm like, there's like 4 drives left in this game. What is Al talking about right now?
They were wrapping it up. I'm like, I think the Giants are getting back on the field.
I think, yeah, Al was just trying to get out of there and get to his steakhouse. He really did not want to be in that game. Right. I think everybody was like, wait a second. And by the way, if Malik Hooker completely blew a pass defense, almost the Giants could have won that game easily.
It's a big day in the Perloff household. Perloff and his beautiful wife, Sarah, 15th wedding anniversary today, which is really awesome. Perloff, again, left with no gift. Phil is in PA. He's got an anniversary gift idea for Perloff. Phil, go ahead.
Well, thank you. I've been married for about 15 and a half years, so I'm right there with you, Perloff.
Nice.
I have never gotten my gift for anything for Christmas, birthday, anniversary. Here's the secret. On your way home, get yourself a massage book. Show it to your wife and say, you're going to make a commitment to give her a 20 to 25 minute massage every single morning. Instead of, flowers that die every 3 days or jewelry that spends hundreds of dollars that she'll wear twice a year while going out for a nice dinner, give her that commitment of, expectation massage where you're not getting anything out of it. Just because I love you, a massage every morning. That will mean more to her than any jewelry, any, flowers or anything like that. You are going to end up smelling like a rose instead of spending money on roses.
I love it. That's a great idea.
Phil, great idea.
Maggie, what if your husband said that to you, that he was going to give you a massage every single morning? How would you feel about that?
I mean, I'd be in heaven. I think, Phil, it's great. I think this is funny now because it's become a joke on this show. But my husband is really great at giving foot massages. But now that you guys know that my feet are gigantic, you realize how hard he's working.
What kind of power tools does he need to do that?
Honestly, it's stuff you got to plug in. It's not the battery operated stuff is not going to hack it. It just drains. Well, the mornings is a little hard for us because we're on the air. But Perloff, would your wife be into that?
She would know that I would never follow through on that promise. Yeah. And by the way, if Phil actually does it, there's no way that's happening. We're busy people. That's not happening.
I feel like you wouldn't even be able to enjoy it in the morning because you'd be like, I got to get to work. I got 100 things to do. Like, all right, let's get this over with so I can go.
No, my wife likes getting pedicures because they do it for 10 minutes. For $5 extra, they do a 10-minute foot massage.
Yeah.
But she does that every weekend anyway. So why I can't get her a gift certificate for that. That feels a little, I don't know. Just here's a gift certificate to your local nails place. Feels a little kind of average.
I mean, what if you get the book? You get the massage book.
That's not happening.
I love, Perloff, that you even entertained that for 5 seconds.
No, I didn't.
That's a great idea. I'm like, there's no shot Perloff's
It's a very solid idea. There's no chance.
You also wake up at like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
So that's not happening every morning.
You're waking her up.
Yeah,
Phil,
get
of
off
the
of
night
me.
for her.
Phil kept emphasizing the morning too. Like, is that when you want a massage?
I think after a long day.
Yeah, that's what I would think.
Right.
I'm anti massage from like significant. I don't need that. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Like I don't.
Especially if you don't know what you're doing.
I've been told a million times I do not know what I'm doing when I try.
Same, bro.
Yeah, I don't.
You
it's not
guys
something I
are
would
struggling.
want. Oh gosh, yeah.
There's a lot to ask for your significant other. I hear you. After a long day, it's like, we're all trying our best here. Like a 25-minute massage every day, that's not going to happen. And if my wife bought that book, I'm like, I know you're not going to follow through on this. So what's the difference?
It'd just be hilarious because Perloff would be like giving the massage and then like also scrolling through Instagram. You're definitely multitasking this thing. There's no way you could focus for 25 minutes on this, right?
Yeah. The sentence, Andrew, are you going to put your phone down and listen to my day at work?
You're like also watching the Vince McMahon documentary while you're doing this. Like you're doing 3 things minimum.
I was jonesing last night, by the way. Dying to get off that football game and put the Vince McMahon documentary on last night, but stupid Amazon, like that's the problem with streaming. I can't go to commercial breaks to the other show.
Oh,
Yeah.
Bogus, you just barged in. Do you want to say something, or you got an update?
This thing, and people can't see it on the radio, obviously, but this, I don't know, like J-shaped contraption had been sitting next to me for months. Didn't know what it was. Is this your foot massager? Have you left this here? Is this for...
I was actually wondering, does your husband have to wear a safety harness when he gives you a foot massage in case the whole thing collapses? Or like a helmet?
He rappels down.
Yeah. Like, what is like, EJ sort of said it, like, you definitely, like, the leverage. They get leverage on that bad boy?
He comes in actually wearing Micah Parsons' uniform from last night. He's got the shoulder pads, the helmet, everything.
Listen to old Bill Parcells, the motivational speeches. Low man wins.
He's dressed like...
That's for my heels. And then working way up to the toes.
He's dressed
Unless you're married to Jason Kelsey, you're not going to get effective foot massage.
I mean, he's probably available. Sheesh, the guy's everywhere.
For the right price?
Wow. He's not available for that kind of thing. He's happily married to Casey.
No,
Nope.
Kaylee.
Kylie.
Kylie, whatever her name is.
Happily married.
To all of them.
No. When my husband's giving me a foot massage, and this is not going to shock anybody considering the size of my feet, there's really nothing sexual about it. It's really utilitarian. It's not like
to keep you mobile.
Yes.
Like a Dale Earnhardt pit stop change. Got to change these tires.
Zip,
Drills and everything.
Yeah, I gotta be honest.
Everyone's in a suit, hazmat style.
I really don't want to hear about your husband giving you foot massages. It's
sorry.
not like morning. I don't know
Phil
why.
brought it
It's not
up.
your feet. It's just like I don't need to see peeks into other
Okay,
people's
listen,
lives like that.
My feet aren't gross; they're just large.
I don't want to hear anybody tell me, oh, if like any coworker comes and said, my husband gave me a good foot massage last night, I'm like, I don't want to hear that. I don't need to know what happens behind closed doors.
But this one involves like chisels and
ropes. Well,
and harnesses.
From an engineering perspective, yes, I'm curious about it. It's like, like I like to hear about how they built the Great Wall of China, like tackling big projects, yes. But the intimacy part, like I don't need to hear about intimate things.
I told you, it's not intimate. It's like he's taping my ankle. It's got all the
like
intimacy.
Micah Parsons
Yeah.
massaging Trayvon Diggs with a
Exactly.
cramp last night, which was still, by the way, I think one of the weirdest things. If the announcers were actually paying any attention to the football game, they might have talked about that.
No, unlike 50 things that happen at a football game, this is non-sexual.
Yeah, the ninth wonder of the world is the homemade scaffolding for Maggie's feet.
That's how I put my feet up at the end of the day.
It's like Micah Parsons last night. She's on the cart, being wheeled in, shoe off.
They need 2 carts, actually. It's like the luggage carts at the airport. One attached to another one just for my feet. Chuck said, my toes are like the Mount Rushmore.
Individual
There's only
mountains.
4 of them.
Fiji, Rushmore, what are the other mountain peaks? Diamond Head.
They're the wonders of the world. That I can even fit them into a shoe. Anyway.
Magellan explored them once.
Fell off the face of the earth off my foot. Anyway, yeah, Perloff, you going to get that massage book that Phil suggested?
Nope.
855-212-4227. Lots more to do. Perloff's going to go against the grain any moment now.
You're in a 5-minute break.
Maggie Gray's husband's got a special touch when it comes to foot rubs. He does so much, her feet are huge, they're hard to beat, but he massages them from heel to street. Oh, Maggie's got giant feet, her husband's rubs, oh so sweet. But where's Pete? Yeah, where's Pete Bellotti? He's skipping work and it's getting spotty. Those toes are big, it's a marathon, but Maggie's man just carries on. Pete's nowhere to be found, no way, while Maggie's feet get love every day. Oh, Maggie's got giant feet, her husband's rubs, oh so sweet. But where's Pete? Yeah, where's Pete Bellotti? He's got to work and it's getting spotty. While Maggie's feet are getting pampered right, Pete's ghosting us, he's out of sight. We need him back, but he won't commit. Maybe he's hiding, trying to quit. Oh, Maggie's got giant feet, her husband's rubs, oh so sweet. But where's Pete? Yeah, where's Pete Bellotti? He's skipping work and it's getting spotty. Oh, Maggie's feet, feeling divine, but Pete's absence is way out of line. Come back to work, don't be discreet, cause nobody misses a day like Pete. live, it's a marathon, but Maggie's man just carries on. Pete's nowhere to be found, no way, while Maggie's feet get loved. Oh, Maggie's got giant feet, her husband's rugs, they can't be beat. But where's Pete? Yeah, where's Pete Bellotti? He's got to work now, that's just snotty. While Maggie's feet are getting pampered right, Pete's ghosting us, he's out of sight. We need him back, but he won't commit. Maybe he's hiding, trying to quit. While Maggie's feet, all Maggie's feet are getting pampered right.
Maggie's got some giant feet, they're the talk of the town. When she walks the sidewalk cracks, she's bringing buildings down. She tried to buy some shoes, but they said no way. Now she's wearing boat sails just to get through the day. Maggie's giant feet, they're a real big deal. Stepping on puddles, creating lakes for real. Maggie's giant feet, they make a mighty thud. But Maggie just laughs, hey, it's all in good fun. She went to a dance, cleared out the floor. Her feet made the music, folks yelled for more. At the beach she's a hit, making giant sand castles. Her footprint's so big, they're like dinosaur battles. She went to a dance, cleared out the floor. Her feet made the music, folks yelled for more. At the beach she's a hit, making giant sand castles. Her footprint's so big, they're like dinosaur battles. Maggie's giant feet, they're a real big deal. Stepping on puddles, creating lakes for real. Maggie's giant feet, they make the mighty thud. But Maggie just laughs, hey, it's all in good fun. She went to a dance, cleared out the floor. So here's to Maggie and her feet so grand. She's the funniest girl in all the land. With her giant feet, she's never beat. Maggie's big feet make life so sweet. Oh, Maggie's big feet make life so sweet. Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out?
What is going on here? Welcome back to Maggie and Perloff. Manny, you have some sort of devilish theme on the music choices today. What are you doing here? Is this about underdogs covering this weekend?
No, we're just talking about Maggie's feet. So
I thought so.
Oh, I thought it was like putting some bad mojo on the Mets.
Yeah, I didn't like that either.
Or you're too young for that, Manny.
Actually,
Is
that the song that the closer comes out to?
No.
I don't want to talk about
Yeah, move on. Next.
Wait, no, is this like a former Mets song or something?
Next.
Yeah, look up 2000 World Series. I don't. My dogs are barking is something that I've said a few times.
Oh, gross. Yeah.
Your neighbors too.
Yeah.
They're like, why is our view obstructed? It's like, is that
It's
a
an
fence?
eclipse.
Is that a fence? It's Maggie's feet. Bogish is here with headlines for us on a very busy Thursday.
And it's about as one-sided as it gets these days. The Cowboys have now won the last 7 and 14 of the last 15 meetings with the Giants following last night's 2015 thriller in Jersey. Daniel Jones had the ball one more time, needing a touchdown to win, and threw a pick after his offense settled for 5 field goals. It's now 2 home games this season and 0 touchdowns.
We're expected to score touchdowns and put points on the board, and in a game that I felt like we were able to do a lot and move the ball well and execute a lot of stuff well. We didn't execute the red zone stuff.
Jones did throw for 281 yards. His offense did have the ball for almost 36 minutes, but again, settling for field goals, partly because the run game managed just 26 yards on 24 carries. The Cowboys snapping their 2-game slide with this bend but don't break defense, and 2 touchdown passes from Dak Prescott.
As I've said, even after those 2 losses a couple weeks, or the past 2 weeks, it's a process. So we're not going to get complacent. We're not going to get overexcited about what we've done tonight. It's about building, and it's about figuring out what we can do better in all phases. But it's a lot easier to do that with the win.
But they do have to worry about the lower left leg injury that Micah Parsons suffered late last night. He was carted off the field. X-rays negative, MRI today. The Cowboys also losing D lineman DeMarcus Lawrence to a foot injury, while Giants rookie receiver Malik Neighbors suffered a fourth-quarter concussion. Jordan Love, another limited practice in Green Bay yesterday. That's good news. No public decision yet on him returning from his knee sprain this weekend. And the Lions have ruled out center Frank Ragnow with a pec injury. The Yankees are AL East champs, and they clinch a first-round bye with last night's 10-1 rout of the Orioles. Aaron Judge went deep for the 5th game in a row, now has 58 total homers. The Dodgers clinching the NL West 7-2 over the Padres, and the Twins are now 3 games away from a wild card spot with the weekend to go after losing to the Marlins 8-6 in 13. Can I now interest you in some golf trash talking? The President's Cup began yesterday in Montreal. This is the AAA version of the Ryder Cup. On the 7th hole of their match yesterday, Tom Kim nailed a long birdie for the international team and celebrated loudly. Then his good friend, Scottie Scheffler, made his own birdie and chirped, "What was that?" It stayed tense for the next few holes. Afterwards, Scheffler was asked what happened, but Xander Schauffele answered first.
Looked like he poked the bear from my perspective.
But that's all we got. Scheffler then refused to throw any more fuel on the fire.
I saw a video of him yelling at me, but I didn't notice any of that. I just kind of played.
These two guys, yeah, just kind of played. Wow. These two dudes are almost best friends. I think they were paired together. Scheffler won the gold in Paris over the summer as well. As for the actual golf, yesterday the U.S. won all 5 matches. The last time they did that was 2000, and they won the cup that time by 11 points. People tried to make this a thing, and Scheffler was just like, nah, whatever.
Well, didn't Kim walked off the course before Scheffler's final putt, right?
No, it was, I think it was in between holes. Scheffler was still putting on 8, I think, and those guys were already on the 9th tee, which is like 200 feet away. They just left.
Right. I feel like that's not the right etiquette, right? Aren't you supposed to wait and watch your opponent?
Yeah, and in those matches, like, you have decisions on whether the putt's close enough. You can pick it up or whatever. So the guys on the TV were like, "This is not how things are done. You got to stay there and watch them finish a hole."
Golf's next great rivalry.
Yeah, that's a problem. I feel like if Scheffler would gave us more, like, this is kind of the problem, right? Like this could have been a bigger story if he would have played ball. And I think it's kind of like the boxing thing. You kind of got to play up the beef a little bit, even if it's, for the bit.
Yeah, they won't do that. I actually thought Scottie Scheffler was on a podcast with your pals, Big Cat and PFT.
Scottie Scheffler went on Part of My Take?
He was talking to someone with Barstool, right? Because
might have been the 4-pod, too.
He was talking about how he watches their gambling show, places all of his bets, and then goes to church. And they were like, "Wait, what? Is that the order?" He's like, "Yeah, I watch the gambling show, place all these like NFL bets on a Sunday, and then head to church."
Dude's got enough money to do it.
That's America.
Yeah, it's just funny. I'm like, I don't know if there's anything against gambling in his particular religion. It's just a funny order to do things.
Well, I mean, listen, is he from Dallas or Fort Worth or somewhere?
He's technically from New Jersey and then moved to Texas as a 3-year-old or something.
Yeah, I mean, that's why God had a hole in Cowboy Stadium so he could watch the Cowboys. I think the two go hand in hand.
That's true.
Like from the church parking lot? You send your last bet and then chirp the alarm and go in?
I guess so. I don't know. Is there Wi-Fi inside the church?
Can the pastor drop subtle hints like Al Michaels on a Thursday night game? Like, and may the Lord watch over you.
God loves the underdogs on Sundays.
I don't know why.
I had a pastor who used to play at the University of Georgia, played with Herschel Walker. Man, he made sure that if there was a Georgia game, he made sure that we were out of there before Georgia got on the field.
He's like, the Father, Son, Holy Spirit.
All right, everybody go. Bye.
Peace be with you and you.
I never knew anything about just like how real SEC football pride is until I went to his house to watch a Georgia football game. I thought I was at Sanford Stadium. I'm like, this is insane. Why are you guys standing? What are you doing?
It's your living room.
Couches.
Yeah.
Wait, where was this? In Queens or?
It was in Queens.
Wow.
Yeah. He's from Queens or New York, but his wife he met through playing football. I don't know if his wife was a cheerleader or anything, but anyway, his wife was from Georgia, went to Georgia. And so the whole family, real big Georgia fans. My brother could not go because he's a Florida fan. So I was like, Shamar, you're going to stay home. We don't want any beef with the Moors. And it was gnarly. And his son was Harry Dog. His son was the mascot for the last year or two of his college life.
I thought that was a real dog.
No, Ugga. Yeah. So there's Ugga, who's the real dog. I learned all this from these experiences. Ugga. And then there's the guy in the mascot. That's Harry Dog.
Most of us knew that.
Also, they're on like Ugga number 20 right now, right?
We're able to put two and two together.
Manny John.
Math? More math?
Yeah.
No,
Manny
thank
John.
you.
The Chicago Sky have reportedly fired head coach Teresa Witherspoon after just one season.
That's weird.
Yeah, and the only confirmation we have so far is Angel Reese posting how heartbroken she is that this is going down. I don't know enough about the Sky's recent issues. It seems like there are more problems than the head coach there, that there's impatient, incompetent people in the front office. But they were bad, which is why they had Angel Reese, and they stayed bad this year, especially after she got hurt. So I don't know how this is Teresa Witherspoon's fault.
I saw Angel Reese did say that she thought that she wished Witherspoon was a little harder on the players. Now, Witherspoon has a reputation of being like a player's coach. She was with the Pelicans. She was like Zion's personal, basically hype woman.
But she was a badass player, right?
Oh, she was amazing. I love
Wouldn't
playing.
you think she'd be like Danny Hurley, like in people's faces now?
You would think too. Yeah, right. Because she was a very intense defensive kind of player, but she loves up on her players, and that locker room is, I don't want to say a bad locker room, but they got some rough edges, and then perhaps maybe like that, put your arm around your shoulder kind of coaching maybe wasn't the best. But I agree with Bogus. This is a franchise that since they won the WNBA title just have fallen apart. It's more than just her.
And the last thing for me, Pearl, you were so close. You were so close. Did you see the ratings for the second Caitlin Clark playoff game from 2 nights ago?
Oh, probably good because that was the only thing on.
2.5 million viewers.
Well, they peaked at 2.2 on Sunday. Some would say I won that bet.
The largest ever.
No one said that.
It's the largest ever cable
Perloff
audience for a WNBA game.
What a bummer. I was thinking they should change that first series to 5 games.
I think they have to, right?
Yeah. I mean, unless Caitlin gets really good really fast.
I guess maybe they don't want to go deeper because some of these arenas are sharing with NBA teams. I know preseason starts, but I don't know. You would think the gate, they're selling out these places. People want to go to these games. You would think the money is just there.
Yeah.
Why would you not?
Yeah.
And now the TV people are involved too, and they love these ratings. But
they just signed a new TV deal. It's already signed, sealed, delivered, right?
Right. But I feel like playoff expansion should be still doable even with a new TV deal. I feel the NBA just does it whenever the hell they want.
Yeah, don't you have to reward these teams with at least a home game for making it? Now you're not even guaranteed a home game.
I also hate that whole 2 games at home thing. It screws the lower seed. Because Seattle, I thought, played Las Vegas, and it was like, you're playing a great team on the road twice. What do you expect?
Yeah.
It's hard.
Bogish, thank you so much. Coming up top of the hour, we have our celebrity guest picker, of course. And coming up next, Perloff goes against the grain. It's Maggie Perloff.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 4 minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. $45 seconds remaining. $30 seconds remaining. $15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Against the grain.
Maggie, I've been sitting on this take since week one, and it was going to turn out so perfectly. It's still good. It's against the grain, but your guy, Josh Allen, is screwing me up a little bit, per usual. Jerk. TJ Watt is in the best position for a defensive player to win MVP since 1986 when Lawrence Taylor won it, and his odds are crazy low. They're right now 200 to 1, if I can do my math right. Right there with Deshaun Watson and Bo Nix. But he is, by any metric, the most valuable player in the NFL, except for Josh Allen right now. But Allen, I'm hoping, will fall apart. if you watch the Steelers, who is the one player that your eye goes to the entire game? TJ Watt, and it's not even close. And not only that, they are averaging 17 points a game, and they're 3-0, and they're only averaging 8.7 points allowed, which would be the all-time record by tenfold. If they keep this up, this will be the best record in the NFL, and it's purely because of defense, therefore a defensive MVP. There's only been one guy who's been anywhere close since LT, and that's J.J. Watt. And T.J. Watt is actually a better player than J.J. Watt, believe it or not. T.J. Watt is doing everything. He should be MVP of the league. He probably will not be because voters are stuck in their ways. They always go with the best quarterback. But except for Josh Allen, all the quarterbacks stink this year. It is time to name a defensive player. It's been the story of the season. It's a narrative award. Maggie, are you okay with a defensive MVP this year?
I think this is the year. If it's going to happen, I think your logic is spot on because Patrick Mahomes isn't putting up MVP numbers, at least yet. That's become a defensive first team, even though he's all world. Lamar, I don't think they're going to give it to him a third time until he wins the Super Bowl. I think there's a lot of NBA, like Giannis, Jokic, that kind of thing. Josh Allen, listen, this is early. Let's see the Bills get tested by another really good team.
Do you see a schedule coming up?
Like the Ravens. I've been telling you this about
Jets,
the Bills schedule.
and Texans coming up.
All three on the road. It's going to be tough. And
Joe
Burrow, they started the season 0-3. They're taking on water right now.
CJ Stroud is still third, and he's really not playing well. His
CJ
numbers
Stroud
are
has not been impressive, and Dak's hasn't been impressive. Last night was definitely better for Dak. Jordan Love is hurt.
Yep. Aaron Rodgers might not get the volume. That's one thing. Like, they're going to be a run-first team. So, he won't put up traditional MVP numbers. Like, his numbers he's averaging like 200 yards passing a game. He might win it if he has a high touchdown, but like he's probably not going to get more than like 3,800 yards.
And Brock Purdy's whole team is falling apart around him.
Dak is Dak's high up there too. I don't think that they're going to be good enough.
Also, here's the thing about TJ Watt, why I like this against the grain from you, that he could win MVP and be the first defensive player since Lawrence Taylor, is because he's without a doubt the star. He's not sharing a double bill with Justin Fields right now. Right? It's like Fields, we know, is gotten better each game for sure, and I think he's definitely got the job from Russell Wilson, but it's not like he's gangbusters. He's not overshadowing Watt. So that helps for sure.
No, I mean...
And he won't.
Mike Tomlin is not going to let that team score. There's just no way. He's not interested.
His own coach.
That being said, like the Steelers could easily lose this week. We all know that. I mean, they're playing with fire a lot by not having any offense, and they have a lot. Alex Highsmith, I think, is out. They have a lot of defensive injuries too. So we'll see if this actually keeps up.
But they're playing the Colts. I mean,
they're
a 1.5 point favorite. I get that because this is probably going to be a very low scoring game. But do you trust the Colts? I wouldn't trust them against a college team right now.
I think this is a very dangerous spot for the Steelers. Like that game, so they beat the Chargers, but while Herbert was in that game, I'm not sure that game goes that way. Like you are a Mike Tomlin team, you're winning every game narrow, so do you really feel safe on the road in any game? They lost last year. Remember, they were looking great. They were headed towards Pater. Then they lost to the Cardinals and the Patriots, the two of the worst teams in the league. So if you're going to win narrowly, I don't think any game is out of touch. But and you better have TJ Watt go off in this game because you're going to have to win with, like, your defense probably will score in this game.
Yeah,
we kind of all know that.
To me, I don't know about Anthony Richardson if the Steelers are playing the Colts this weekend. To me, is it about getting to Anthony Richardson and being physical and taking him down? Obviously, you always want to get pressure. It's about confusing him in the secondary, I think, is more.
I don't think he's dropping back to pass more than 15 times. You're going to heavy dose of Jonathan Taylor and Anthony Richardson. There are a couple injuries on the Steelers defense, so I think it's going to be real close. That's why I say, but that's their formula all year long. There's a big play last week where TJ Watt sacked Taylor Heineke, and Tony Romo said, this is today's LT. Remember when, you guys don't remember LT when he was on the field, like everybody in the stadium knew where that guy was every play. That's what TJ Watt is.
Yep.
There's some other really good defensive players, but it feels like Myles Garrett, who actually got a lot of consideration last year, he's not the same this year. And Micah Parsons doesn't look quite the same. Nick Bosa has disappeared. And so I think this is all TJ Watt.
Also, it can't be a corner because no one's throwing enough.
Oh, the one competition is Aiden Hutchinson is on fire too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Well, cornerback would never win MVP because
it'd be hard.
Because if you're really good, you never get any stats. Revis is the best cornerback I ever saw, and he never got interceptions because no one threw his way.
Right. Hence the island. 855-212-4227. Yes.
By the way, there's one cornerback. Have you guys been charting the numbers? There's a new Revis.
A new Revis?
A guy who's like, he would be my defensive MVP too, and in consideration. Patrick Surtain is a bad man.
Yep.
But again, cornerbacks can't be that kind of star power. It's got to be the pass rusher. It's got to be
Also,
somebody.
it's got to be on a team that makes the playoffs. I mean, let's call it what it is. Usually the MVP is the quarterback who's on a playoff team. The Steelers have to make the playoffs for TJ Watt to have a sniff.
Yeah, I mean, the year Strahan broke the record for the Giants, they didn't make the playoffs, and he didn't even get a vote.
Yeah, I think also people didn't love the way that went down.
Yeah, no, I think the end was not good
Which is
either.
a shame because, like, for Strahan, it's not the last sack where Brett Favre basically takes a dive. It's all the sacks leading up to that.
J.J. Watt was real close, by the way. He had Rodgers on the ropes. He got 13 votes to Rodgers' 35 votes. You look at that guy's numbers, we forgot how ridiculous he was.
I feel like you forgot because you kind of quickly said that TJ was better, and I was like, ooh, that's a hot take.
Well, JJ always
close.
But TJ has 2 Defensive Players of the Year, and JJ had 3, right?
So far.
Right. No.
JJ had yes, he had 3.
And TJ, I think, has 2.
Yeah, so TJ he's just getting warmed up.
And TJ, though, has already tied the record for most sacks in a season, right? 22 and a half. That's a real...
Now you got an extra game, though.
Yeah, that's a great question. Wow. Did I overestimate? You know, you might be right. I might be guilty of that.
It's close. They're both great, and it's amazing that you have 2 brothers living in the same household that become this great. To me, this is almost a little more impressive than even the Manning brothers.
And meanwhile, poor Derek Watt, not doing much.
The fullback.
You're like, Derek. I'm like, who's that?
Can you imagine the family?
Right.
Can you imagine
Sorry.
the family meals? Everyone's back. It's like, hey, JJ, you're back. TJ. Oh, hey, Derek.
Now he knows what it's like to be Archie Manning.
Yeah, no, Cooper Manning.
Cooper Manning.
Yeah, right. No, and Derek's like, I've been here for 2 days. Why didn't anyone say hello to me?
I think that would be a terrible situation to have better brothers in a sport.
But wouldn't you just be happy for them?
No.
I think that's a good poll question. What's more impressive, Peyton Manning and Eli Manning, or Derek Watt, or Derek Watt and TJ and JJ?
Yeah.
What's the more impressive brothers? What about Trayvon Diggs and Stefon Diggs?
It's a good one too.
It's another great one.
I once did a poll. Who would win in a fight, the Watts or the Gronkowskis? A lot of fullbacks in the Gronk family.
Oh yeah, a lot of Gordies.
Yeah.
They're not making Gordies anymore.
I think actually, who's better, TJ or JJ? Who's going to end up with a better career? Not that it's relevant in any way, but that's a 50-50 poll.
Well, it's tough because TJ's still in it, but it's a good poll too. Put them both up.
Yeah, it's a Friday before everyone's be like, what?
The Peyton and Eli thing is tough because isn't quarterback the toughest position to play?
It is.
Yeah.
But the reason why I go with the Watts is because as great as Eli is, and he's going to be in the Hall of Fame,
that's right.
JJ and TJ, arguably both players, the best defensive player of their generation. And Peyton, great quarterback.
No, but Brady's the better.
Brady's the better quarterback. Eli not even close to being best of his generation or anything like that. So tougher position, yes, but I mean.
Well, I mean, by the way, you got to get 2 Kelseys in the Hall of Fame. That's a good family too.
Another one too.
2 Hall of Famers. I don't think Bruce Matthews and Clay Matthews even got in. I don't think Clay Matthews is a Hall of Famer. That's a good one too.
I think Clay got into the Packers Ring of Honor.
No, the older.
The older
one, the Browns guys. They were brothers. They were high level brothers.
There's a couple of Bosa's too, right?
Yeah,
Nick and Joey.
Yeah. But you know what?
Joey's been too hurt.
He's been too hurt. Otherwise, that would be 2 Hall of Fame brothers. How about the Stewart family, EJ's family? That's a dream team.
You guys are impressive.
4 of us. A lot of brothers.
If there was a Hall of Fame for sports takes, you guys would be on a Hall of Fame track.
No. I think more sports/comic book takes. I mean, that family, that must be wild.
That's definitely a fact there.
I think that was a dig too.
No, that was a compliment.
I'll take that compliment for sure.
Coming up, our celebrity guest picker for the week. It's going to make you laugh.
You're in a 5-minute break. 4 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
Snap to Prescott, looks right, now goes screen left. Dowdle with a block to the 10, to the 5. He's into the end zone, touchdown.
Dallas Cowboys get back in the win column. Hey, welcome to the show, Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. What did we learn really about the Cowboys? I don't know. Not a whole heck of a lot, but you're obviously better off at 2-2, Pearl. You know, the Giants, I don't think are a particularly talented team, and the Cowboys let them hang around a lot. You know, the defense looked a lot better, but I think that was more because the Giants really just couldn't take advantage of a bad Cowboys run defense because they just don't have the personnel, quite frankly.
Yeah, I don't know about that because Devin Singletary is pretty good. Actually, you saw it when he caught passes last night. Like, he trucked a couple guys, and that third string running back I've never heard of also had a screenplay where he broke about 8 tackles. I think they did do some adjustments on the run play, but they let themselves wide open in the pass last night. If Daniel Jones would have hit his deep passes, then the Giants could have scored more. But
I think that's a function of the Giants don't have a lot of dudes on offense. Like, it's really Malik Neighbors, and then then you're going to Wan'Dale Robinson, but he had some crucial drops last night. For all the catches he did have and making a guy miss, he did have a lot of drops.
I don't know. Was it Slayton still there, right?
Yep.
Or he was wide open.
He dropped one, too.
Yeah, he dropped
But
one.
he blew past his defender. Yeah, did he drop one, or did Jones not put enough air under it?
And Jones was missing some deep passes, too, and couldn't really...
That's what I'm saying. I felt like I thought Robinson and Slayton got past their guy a lot, and then they had to come back to the ball for Jones, which is weird.
This is the whole point. I don't think the Giants are a great litmus test, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, but you were going to say that coming into the game, too, and, like, we know that. But here's the thing where I disagree a little bit. I think the bar had been lowered big time on the Cowboys. They lost 47-10 to the Saints. Even to go into New York and win this game has to be a sense of big relief because I don't know, like, there was a chance that this team could go really bad. And you saw they came out last night and CeeDee Lamb immediately produced after criticizing himself over the week.
Yeah,
and
not much in the second half, though, for Lamb.
Yeah, but they didn't have the ball much in the second half. They were playing so much bend-don't-break defense, and Dak was nearly perfect. Yeah. I mean, honestly, like, if Brandon Cooks was a little bit better, Dak might have had one incompletion the whole night.
Yeah, you feel better about the Cowboys?
Yes, I do. I feel better because 1-3 would be really bad. Maybe I didn't feel that good about the Cowboys coming into it. Yeah, I do feel like, okay, now they can get 10 days. I think they'll be a better team by the end of the season because they have so many young guys. Every position, there's a rookie or a second-year player. If those guys get better, then they have a chance to be okay.
So I think the bigger story coming out of this game was, first of all, that game was a slog last night. That was littered with penalties, 11 penalties on the Dallas Cowboys side of this. It was not a clean game by any stretch. You can blame the refs, you can blame the teams, what have you. This thing was ugly. Secondly, it was the injuries. So Micah Parsons ends up leaving the game with a couple minutes left. He gets an MRI on his ankle. It's negative. He was taken off in a cart, but the fact that the MRI is negative or the x-rays were negative, he's going to get an MRI today. DeMarcus Lawrence was also in and out last night because he had his left ankle, I believe, or left foot. So that's an issue. And then Neighbors on the other side for the Giants gets a concussion, and he has to leave the game right at the very, very end. And what's weird about the Neighbors one is that it didn't even look that bad. Like, Perloff, we watched your wide receiver, Devontae Smith, take a hit by the Saints that was, like, you could feel that at home on your couch. Like, oh, that was bone-chilling. This one seemed like, from our vantage point, kind of innocuous, and Malik Neighbors was down for a long time.
Which is kind of scarier in a way because we know once you get one concussion, you're way more vulnerable to get another.
And he's the offense.
Yeah, you could see them maybe there were a bunch of big hits on him. Are they overusing a smaller receiver? 12 catches? Like, they might need to run the ball a little more. They can't go to Malik Neighbors every play. One thing on the DeMarcus Lawrence, Micah Parsons injury, one thing I'll tell you is when they were on the field, they didn't sniff the quarterback, so that might make you feel better. Like DeMarcus Lawrence, hello, you're getting a lot of money, dude. You should get to the quarterback a little more. Honestly, I thought the Dallas Cowboys pass rush was the most disappointing aspect of the team last night.
It's funny.
Daniel Jones looked awfully comfortable, Maggie.
Well, it's funny because I think on the broadcast they were just giving a lot of credit to the Giants' improved offensive line. But you're right. I mean, that's maybe part of it, and the bar couldn't have been lower for the Giants' offensive line. But no, they were not really getting to him. Micah Parsons was disrupting a little bit. He wasn't a total no-show.
I mean, it was crazy how much time Daniel Jones had. A lot of time. I think Andrew Thomas, I guess Andrew Thomas has success
Yep.
against Micah Parsons. It was close to a no-show. I mean, he had one nice tackle for a loss on a run play that they were talking about. Did he get a pressure? I have to double-check the stats. I don't think so.
855-212-4227. We've heard from some Cowboy fans throughout the morning. I think everyone's kind of made up their mind on this season. It's going to take a real signature win, I think, to get everyone back on board, because if they're going to get on board at all. Because the Cleveland Browns win is not a signature win. The Browns are not a good team. The 2 losses, and then you win over the Giants and a team you were favored to beat by 5.5 points. So a signature win, the Steelers next week, the Lions after that. Mm-hmm. Even a banged-up San Francisco team may exercise some demons. Something that's a little bit that you can hang your hat on a little bit more than just going to the MetLife Stadium to beat the very mediocre Giants.
If they beat the Niners, no matter how many injuries, they're going to have a parade in Dallas. Are you kidding me?
By the way, you're welcome to weigh in on the Cowboys, of course, at 855-212-4227. But can we pause on the 49ers for a minute? We got an update yesterday. So Christian McCaffrey has gone to Germany to get some treatment. And there was an article in the San Francisco Chronicle where a very famous orthopedic surgeon was quoted, Pearl. And he said this is a really terrible sign that Christian McCaffrey is going to Germany. And the reason why it's a terrible sign is because the only reason why you'd go to Germany is if you are not responding well to any of the treatment they're giving you in the U.S. This is not like a vacation. It's not Oktoberfest. He's going over there to basically get his blood spun around and whatever they're going to put into it, who knows. That's not a great sign. He's expecting, this orthopedic surgeon said, you can basically say he'll be out for at least another month.
Oh, yeah. I've given up on Christian McCaffrey.
For the season?
Oh, 100%.
It's September 27th.
Everybody in fantasy leagues around the country is trying to get that guy off their team because they over-invested in him. He's in a very funny Matthew McConaughey commercial, though. He's getting, every day there's a new commercial.
He's getting to
there's a lot
field.
of new fun Christian McCaffrey. Yeah, that was... people are mad about the Brandon Ayuk money because he stinks now. But if I'm a Niners fan, I'm like, dude, what? Christian McCaffrey basically held out for more money than knowing he wasn't going to play. This is not going to look good for him. I think he's actually ruining his legacy because he just got that raise and now he's not even there. And it said 1 month, maybe 2 months. I'm not a math major, Maggie, but that's not a lot of season left.
Ruining his legacy. Good grief. Okay, on Fridays, we do something called the Celebrity Guest Picker. And to be honest, we could have used this guy last night because that game was such a slog. If he could come out and tell jokes sometime around the third quarter, that would have been great. His name is Luke Touma. He's a fantastic comedian. And more than that, Pearl, he's from Buffalo. Mm-hmm. And anyone from upstate/Western New York is cool with me. Luke, thanks so much for joining us. How are you?
Thank you for having me. I'm good. Yeah, I was listening to what you guys were talking about with McCaffrey. I think it's so funny he went to Germany and then just came back and found out he's got to be out for 3 months. I thought that Germany was going to be the cure-all, but I guess he got there and they were like, well, your knee has exploded. So,
yeah, we've got nothing for you. It's like, oh, no, wait a minute.
That was a brutal game last night. I mean, it was just the refs versus the refs, huh? That was
when Al Michaels basically dips out with 5 minutes left to go in the game when it's a 1-score game, you know it's bad. He's like, Kirk, you got it from here.
Yeah, Al's getting old. I think it was past his bedtime. He didn't want to stay up for that, so he's ready to go.
Well, is it Al or is it Thursday Night Football? It's Thursday Night Football. I remember for years it was like the Jags and Titans color rush. It's never really been that good.
No, it's not as good as Sunday's the best. Sunday the best games. Bills-Ravens this week.
I know. Bills-Ravens this week. Luke Touma, he's our celebrity guest picker. He's going to be picking some games for us. Talented comedian. You can check him out. Instagram, YouTube. He does it all. Okay, you're a Bills fan. I'm a Bills fan. So I'm not from Buffalo, though. I am from Binghamton.
All right, nice.
Which may as well be like a kind of a different world. However, you say something about Buffalo that really hit home with me is growing up in Binghamton, which is we do nothing but drunk food.
Yes.
There's like my parents owned a restaurant in Binghamton and it was very fine cuisine and it was really the anomaly of the town. You know, there's really like every food choice in upstate New York is slathered in buffalo ranch and blue cheese dressing and deep fried. There's no other, you can't find anything else.
Yeah, to the extent where we're not even giving them cute names. I mean, it's just garbage plate. A big one is garbage plate.
Yeah.
People are like, what should I eat
Rochester.
when I go to Rochester? What should I eat? You should get a garbage plate. And they're like harrowing names for these little snacks.
Yeah, spoiler,
Yeah,
that's not vegan, by the way. That garbage plate is basically hot dogs, mac salad, French fries, anything you can fit, any drunk hangover food you can possibly get on a plate, that's what's on a garbage plate.
Oh, it's heinous. It's bad.
So you don't like those weird foods like this, sandwiches in Pittsburgh with the French fries on them and adding all sorts of things?
There's a limit. I'm getting too old for them. It used to be like, it's too much now. It used to be like I go to Buffalo and I'm like, oh my God, I drank so much this week. I can't get out of bed. And now I can go and I won't even drink, and just the food will keep me bedridden. It's like I can't even get up in the morning.
It's a Frank's Red Hot hangover, is what it is. It's not the Molson XXX anymore. It's actually just the Buffalo wings. Luke Touma is joining us, comedian. He's from Buffalo, but he tours all over the country and talks a lot about sports. One thing I love, Luke, that you do is you work with the crowd a lot. So you love to do the interactions with the crowd. How do you handle it, though, when hecklers start getting a little too crazy, when people start crossing the line? Do you love this, or do you start to go, oh, gosh, here we go again?
There's different types of hecklers. If the hecklers aren't too drunk and they think they're witty, usually you're the comedian, you have the microphone, you can say something wittier. You kind of flip them on their heads, the crowd laughs, and then they stop. But sometimes people reach a level of drunkenness. Really, maybe we'll call it Binghamton drunk. They'll get Binghamton drunk, and they'll get past the point where they don't realize that you made them look silly. So they almost grow into just making noises. So they won't even try to say anything witty anymore. They'll just be like, rin, rin. And there's only so much you can do with that before it's just ruining the show. But by the seventh, then you can't really keep talking to them.
Wait, Luke, I'm sorry. Being from Binghamton, I actually interpreted that murmur. That's our Shakespeare. Yeah. All right? This is the highest form of communication
Do they have comedy clubs in Binghamton? I thought it was just Wendy's and the Champion Outlet.
Growing up, Binghamton I associate with intelligence because SUNY Binghamton was the hardest SUNY school to get into. So the smart kids went to SUNY Binghamton and Geneseo, and then my friends went to Fredonia and Oswego.
Yes, they all came to Binghamton and then promptly forgot everything that they knew just by one tour of the bars, and that's how it goes.
All right, Luke, so Maggie is one of those superstitious fans, and I'm curious what your take is on this. In 2022, she had this thing where she had to make the same amount of wings for every Bills game, and she was convinced that the outcome of the game depended on her behavior. Do you act like that as a sports fan, or do you think that's crazy?
No, I actually get you there. I'm with you. As a Bills fan, it's hard not to be superstitious. I started doing research about the stadium being built on an Indian burial ground. I was like, what tribe was it? What do they believe? You know what I mean? I was getting into like the theology of the tribe whose burial ground we built the stadium on. It gets spooky as a Bills fan. It's dark. So you really have to take all those things into account. I take into account what jersey I wore for wins and losses, what bar I went to. There's bars in New York City that I'll never go to again.
Same.
Penn 6, I'll never go to again. It's a Bills bar. It's got bad juju.
I once went to the McFadden's in Midtown. And they lost on a last-second field goal. I was like, never again. I don't even go to that block anymore, let alone the bar.
No, just stay away from the whole subway stop.
Were there any ancient rituals where Native Americans would light themselves on fire and jump through things? Was that...
Where do you think we learned it?
Does that go back years?
Maybe that's where we got it from.
Yeah. That's when you really need to summon from the depths. That's what you have to do. And put ketchup and mustard all over yourself. I'm sure that was some kind of ancient ritual. Luke Touma's with us. He's our celebrity guest picker. So let's get to it. Let's have you pick some games.
Hey, Perloff, over here.
Time for Celebrity Picks.
All right, little Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous music, something that we wouldn't know about in Western New York. Anyway, Luke, let's get to the picks, shall we? Now, you're going to be picking these against the spread, so we might as well get to it. Let's start with the Denver Broncos visiting the New York Jets. The Jets are a 7.5-point favorite.
Ooh, I'm going Jets. I think Jets are going to blow them out. I think the Bo Nix had a nice game. I don't think he's that good. They don't have a great receiving core. The Broncos pass rush has been good, and the Jets O-line is a little weak, but I think Aaron's going to be feeling it.
Do you fear the Jets in the AFC East?
Absolutely not. No.
Oh, not? Ooh, we disagree on that.
No way.
Don't be a freaking weirdo.
Okay, let's go. We'll continue in the AFC. Jacksonville, Bills just put them down last week at Houston. Houston, a 6.5-point favorite.
I'm taking the favorite again. I'll go with Houston. I know they just got blown out by the Vikings, but Jacksonville's a mess.
Let's go to Perloff's team in the NFC. The Eagles are at the Bucks, and the Bucks are 1.5-point underdog. Bucks getting 1.5.
I'm gonna go with the Bucks.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Bucks. I'm sorry, man. I think Baker's gonna get it again.
And let's go to, what do we have here? Let's go to Seattle at Detroit. We'll go to the Monday night game. Detroit is a 3.5-point favorite.
I'll go with Detroit.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the Lions are they're getting it together.
In a different world, in a different universe, Dan Campbell is the Bills head coach. It didn't happen in this lifetime, but in a different lifetime, he's the Bills head coach. And then finally, Bills at Ravens, Luke. This is going to be a good one. Sunday night, Ravens are a 2.5-point favorite.
How are they 2.5-point? First of all, I'm taking the Bills. How in God's name are they 2.5-point favorites?
Because they're good.
1-2.
They're real good.
No.
The Bills haven't played anybody yet. That's why.
I'm a little worried about us. Derrick Henry is the biggest worry because we're not great at stopping the run. We're not bad at it, though. But I don't think they should be 2.5-point favorites. I know we're away. But that means the game's a toss-up? Toss-up.
Sort of. I have a little PTSD. I don't use that term lightly, but with Derrick Henry, and Luke, I'm sure you remember this game as well, when Henry obviously was playing for the Titans, and for some reason, a washed Josh Norman happened to be on the Bills, and Derrick Henry stiff-armed Josh Norman into the next millennium.
I remember that was bad.
I think the NFL used that as a promo for like a decade. Or was that just me?
Yeah. We had a lot of games where we had like screenshotted moments that could be turned into logos, like the Hail Murray. That like you're like having PTSD that it's gonna like turn into the next Jordan Brand logo or something like that.
For most of my childhood, anytime someone else they were showing a highlight reel, it was against the Bill. Mostly Tom Brady stuff.
What I don't understand as a not a Bills fan, why doesn't everybody just focus on Josh Allen? Like, don't let Josh Allen run. That would be like, I know he's not Lamar Jackson, but why don't you like? What else? He's so their secret weapon.
Perloff.
Khalil Shakir is not going to kill you. Just focus on stopping that guy.
Well, stopping him do what? Because that's the problem with Josh Allen. He does everything great. So if you
Spy him on
try to
third
stop
down.
him run, if you try to stop him from running in what? You sack the box, you go with a heavy box, then he's going to dice you up with his deep ball because he can throw it like 50 yards on a row. So everybody has to play him light boxes, but when you play him light boxes, he can run, and now that Cook's good, Cook can run, and that now his short game's great. And Joe Brady's dialing up great short game plays. So you're going to have Shakir as a little crosser. You're going to have Cook in the flats. You can hand it off to Cook. Josh can scramble. He can run. If you have a light box, he's probably going to get 11 yards. There's really, if the play calling is good, which I think Joe Brady's play calling is great, and I'm very thankful we have him, there's really no way to stop the guy because he's got the highest completion percentage in the league. So now he's extremely accurate so far this season. He's got the strongest arm. He's statistically possibly the best runner. You could throw Lamar above him maybe, but he's one of the best runners. So there's almost no way to game plan for him, which is
Another
why
thing
it's
too,
frustrating.
Luke, is not, knock on wood, not fumbling the ball either on some of these short yardage situations. I mean, Luke's freaking mad in here, breaking this down. We love it. Hey, Luke, you seem like you know a lot. Perloff's 15th wedding anniversary is today. Any good gift ideas? Because once again, here we are. Perloff has no gift. He's got hours on the clock. The clock is draining, and he's got nothing.
You have no gift?
Are you married? Are you married? See, I don't really want your advice if you're not married yet.
I was going to say, we went from football right to marriage advice. I'm not even married. He's been married for 15 years.
Yeah.
You have a strategy for why you don't have a gift? Is there a reason, or are you just working a lot?
So everyone's like, get a gift certificate. I'm against gift certificates now because they just sit around in the closet. We never use them. So Maggie wanted me to get a spa gift certificate. I just feel I want to hand her something old school.
Oh, dude, flowers. are rock solid. I honestly think women love flowers. And all the women that say they don't love flowers also love flowers. Every woman loves flowers. I've dated girls that said they didn't like flowers, then I come up with flowers, and it's like, like I bought us a house. So I say that
basically they cost the same
flowers
now.
are a go-to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Luke, you're the best. Thank you so much for doing this. Our celebrity guest picker, Luke Touma. You got to check him out on Instagram, everywhere. LUKETOUMA. You're hilarious. You're from Buffalo. You're everything we look for in a guest. Thank you so much for doing it.
Thank you, guys. Go Bills.
Got that right. Go Bills. I have a gift idea for you. You just made me think of another one.
Great.
We've been giving you gems all morning long, but I got a better one. I got the perfect
Can't
thing.
wait.
I got the perfect thing. All right, we're going to do that next. Maggie and Perloff.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. 45 seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back, Maggie and Perloff. Hey, so what's the deal here? We do Celebrity Picker every Friday, and it's a lot of fun. But has anyone noticed a trend here?
What? Awesome people?
Benny the Butcher, Luke Touma, Bills fans? What's that? Can we get some Eagles fans up in the house? Oh, we did. We had Ryan Felipe last year.
Yeah, Ryan Felipe is like in the box
I don't know. I just feel
owner.
like you are stacking the show with Bills fans. I think that accusation is spot on.
I can't help it if cool people also happen to be Bills fans.
All right, fine. He was doing such a good job till he's like, there's no way to stop Josh Allen. I mean, he can run on you, he can throw on you, he can throw long, he can throw short.
Listen.
Dude, he beat the Jags.
It's your fault because you were like, why doesn't everyone just spy Josh Allen on third down? Like, no defensive coordinators thought of that one.
No Bills fan doesn't have an answer to that. Every Bills fan has 10 answers to that.
No, you got to make Josh Allen throw downfield on third down. You cannot let him scramble. I'm dead serious about that. Like, somebody's got to hit that dude.
I mean, this is the game of the weekend for sure for the NFL, I think. The Bills-Ravens, I think, is really amazing. I don't think we confuse Dolphins-Titans with the game of the weekend, but Jerry is in South Carolina. He's got a thought on the Dolphins quarterback situation. Hello, Jerry.
Hey, hello, Maggie. How's it going?
It's going good. What's up?
Yes, who do you think Dolphins starting quarterback should be for this Monday night game against the Titans, and for as them moving forward, trying to stretch and claw until Tua gets back, or whenever he decides, or if they let him come back for this year?
You're asking me who do I think it should be? Snoop Huntley.
Temporarily.
Let's go, Snoop. You know, if Skylar Thompson is going to be hurt, Jerry, thank you for the call. You don't have Tua. I'm not going to go with a banged up Skylar Thompson, right? I mean, it's one thing if he's full strength, he can run a little bit. He's been in the offense, he knows it. But if he's not full, if he's battling injuries, Perloff, you're going to do a banged up backup quarterback. I'd rather have Huntley. At least he's fully healthy, even if your playbook has to get pared down. Just throw it to Tyreek Hill. You'll be good.
You sure won't.
Listen, I don't know what to tell Dolphins fans right now.
Listen, I'm
You're down to a third-string quarterback. There's not a great option here.
I'm very well aware that Tyler Huntley is a Pro Bowler, which is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know that was a joke, right?
No, he really was a Pro Bowler.
No, I know, but you know the league was messing with everybody when they made him a Pro Bowler.
Well, he was an alternate.
No, but that was just whatever. I mean, the guy's never done. Honestly, I saw a thing about him against the spread. I always thought Snoop Huntley was pretty good, but apparently he's like never covered in a game. Because I'm looking at this, I don't understand how Tennessee is. They should roll this team. The Dolphins were so terrible last week, but it doesn't feel like that's the way people are viewing this game.
Well, Tennessee, who trusts Tennessee?
I mean, Tennessee should have beaten the Bears week 1. They creatively throw that game away. They should have won week 2.
Yeah, why are they losing these games?
Because Will Levis is giving it away at the end. But
exactly. This is why no one trusts them.
But still, they should be up by a touchdown. They have so much high-priced talent there. It's bizarre to me that if they can't beat this Miami team with that quarterback situation, then they have to just fire the coach in full tank. I mean, he's just got there, but they have to go 0-17 and draft a quarterback because it doesn't get any easier.
Andrew Bogusch is here with headlines for us. Spokes, what's up?
Maggie Pearl, the concern's a high ankle sprain, but an MRI today will let us know for sure. Cowboys stud Micah Parsons hurt late in last night's 20-15 win at the Giants. X-rays at the stadium were negative, so Parsons wants to be back ASAP because there's a lot of work to do.
Winning is important. It's hard to do in this league. So, edging out a 20-15 win, but it wasn't perfect, you know what I'm saying? I'm done scraping by. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to scrape by no more. I want legit wins. I want to win consistently. And we got a tough matchup next week. Yeah, I'm going to try to get back for it.
Parsons, part of a defensive effort that held the Giants to just 5 field goals and 26 rushing yards. Dallas came into the game allowing 185.7 per game on the ground. The 2015 final means the Cowboys have won 7 straight, 14 of the last 15 in this head-to-head. They smoked the Giants twice last season, so a 5-point differential looks better, but doesn't feel better for Giants D-tackle Dexter Lawrence.
I'm not getting no petty wins. It's whoever won on the scoreboard, and that's the game. I don't give a damn about a petty win. Like it's football. We go out here to score points and to win and stop them on defense. We didn't do that, and they beat us.
Rookie receiver Malik Neighbors caught 12 balls for 115 yards, but suffered a late concussion. His team is 1-3. The Cowboys even their record at 2-2, snapping their 2-game slide. Shame on me for not mentioning this sooner. John Sterling is back in the Yankee radio booth.
The 2-2. Swung on there, it goes to right field. That ball is high. It is far. It is gone. Second deck.
For Alex Verdugo, Aaron Judge, and Giancarlo Stanton.
Giancarlo. No si puesto parlo.
Also went deep in a 10-1 rout of the Orioles, which clinches the AL East crown and a first-round bye. New York has a 1-game lead with 3 to go on Cleveland for the top seed in the AL bracket.
Second deck.
That's fun.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. By the way, so is he doing the rest of the thing?
He's in. The world is right again. He is in. He will do as many Yankee playoff games home and away as they play.
I love this for John. I mean, it was great for our pals, Emmanuel Barbari. Yeah, I don't know Justin Shackle, but I'm a big fan.
He sucks.
I know Ricky Ricardo very well, and I love Ricky. He does the Spanish language broadcast, so he's still going to be around for the playoffs. But John Sterling back is like when you get into a comfortable pair of slippers.
Aaron Judge.
I will say I'm a little surprised, Maggie, that you're for this because we just had this conversation about having to change things when things go wrong, and John Sterling's the GOAT, but he's been doing these Yankee playoffs and they've been getting bounced.
I know, but he was there for the dynasty.
I know, but that's years ago. I was kind of wondering, maybe a new announcer, maybe things would have changed.
Oh my goodness!
I'm locking him now as an ALCS elimination.
Just because
Sterling's back.
Wow. I mean,
that is a hot take. I didn't see that coming.
He was calling 98, which might be one of the greatest teams ever assembled.
Oh, don't remind me. I hated that as a kid.
Yeah, that was 26 years ago, to EJ's point.
Yeah, but you're either a bad luck or you're not bad luck. I don't think there's no in between.
You don't think luck kind of wanes? You have the same lucky socks or whatever. I wear my same lucky socks every Tuesday. I'm sure you've had some bad Tuesdays in your life.
Yeah.
That's baseball.
It's not you don't go the rest of your life wearing those same lucky socks and having a great day. I think at a certain point, they were lucky for a time, and then maybe that ends. You got to find something new.
Yeah, I'm sure Derek Jeter retiring had nothing to do with it.
Well, what if...
John can't go out there and hit.
Maybe John was always the bad luck, but Jeter was that good that he overcame it, and since Jeter and Mo have been gone... John's bad mojo is what is the deciding factor now.
I wish someone would explain it to me.
Or is there another possible bad mojo that joined the team?
Absolutely not.
Taylor Swift?
4-letter word. Starts with A.
Rod.
Yeah.
He won a title.
He did win a championship.
He won a title, but he kind of ruined the whole party.
No.
They were losing World Series and playoffs before he got there.
Yeah, no.
That's why they got him.
I don't think A-Rod's unlucky.
Yeah.
It was
Some of
the stuff is
A-Rod.
unfortunate, but it wasn't unlucky.
I mean, listen, they started buying everybody, and it obviously didn't work.
No, they can't develop a pitcher to save their lives. That also coincided.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that the core four, they built this great team, and then they were like, well, let's keep it going by buying everybody, and it didn't work.
Yeah, no, they definitely started buying free agents, but they couldn't develop their own pitchers. They made some bad trades. I mean, now it's been so long since they've won. They've done everything every which way. But they'll tell you that the Astros cheating is the World Series they should have had.
And probably. But Pearl asked a good question earlier about, does the baseball need Shohei to go far, have great success in this postseason? Yeah. We've had this drought with the Yankees where, everybody allegedly hates the Yankees. And we've not seen a title, so that's been great for everybody else. But does baseball actually need the Yankees to maybe finally win a title?
Manny needs the Yankees to win a title.
I know.
I'll tell you that.
I'm sitting next to the third baseman of the Yankees.
I know.
with his
It's really
uniform on.
subtle, too, your fan affiliation, Manny. How are you wearing Yankees? Like, I don't even want to know. I can only see the hat, the undershirt, and the jersey.
You don't want to know how deep it goes.
I don't want to know how deep it goes.
Wow, that is a terrible voice, too. That is creepy.
Oh, my goodness.
No wonder Manny's not buying anniversary gifts for anybody. Not with that weird voice.
He has different anniversaries. You don't want to celebrate those.
$25 gift card. Starbucks.
Manny's real
Ice macchiato.
his real advice to Perloff was give your wife a $20 and a handshake.
Good old put her there. Come on. Can't reject the
I
put her
might
there.
do it. I might actually do it. I think football's so popular right now, even the Yankees might not break through. I mean, they will to a degree. It's better than not having the Yankees. But remember when 2000 to 2008, it was Yankees-Red Sox was promoted all the time on ESPN. Now, never. I don't know.
Blame the Red Sox for trading away Mookie Betts.
I just think that I think football's too popular. I don't even know if the Yankees or Shohei can really break through the way.
I'll be honest. More Thursday night games like this, I'm going to start wondering about football, too.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what classifies as breaking through, but ESPN did announce that they just had their best Sunday night ratings ever or in a long time.
Right.
Now,
like, that's like WNBA level.
Well, okay, so right. Relatively speaking, the number still looks small, but the number could be going down, and it didn't.
Yeah.
And it went up. I mean, it's something.
I don't know. That feels like kind of grasping for something. I mean, it's definitely not what it used to be.
Well, but if you're asking them to get to football level, they're never going to do that. That's more unrealistic than me being.
Well, what about like old baseball
nodding
numbers?
that? No,
Yeah.
I mean the
like
landscape
get to
is
the
different.
way it was. Yeah, like get the way it was when the Yankees and Red Sox were at their peak. That's not going to happen. I don't think. Like it used to be like they average like 19 million. Now I think they're like 9 million.
Yeah, I don't remember what those numbers were.
I think they were much bigger.
They were certainly bigger. I just don't
Yeah.
remember what they were to make a comparison. But I'll take numbers going up than going down, whatever it is. I mean, is there any other way to look at it? More people watch baseball games
No, I'm
in
just
their
saying.
prime
Well, I think it's
window than
Maggie
in
asked
recent memory.
would the Yankees winning like would that like
No,
how
you-
much would it fix the sport, which is losing viewers?
You said-
I mean, 99. You had a 16 million watching the Braves and the Yankees, and last year, you're talking about 6 million.
Wow,
or 4 million actually. Sorry. Oh no, sorry, 9 million. Rangers, Diamondbacks. A lot of numbers here.
You had some good ones. I'm looking. The Cubs had a big year in 16.
Yeah, you said, does baseball need Shohei Ohtani? And I said, yeah, and Aaron Judge. And you're like, no, not Judge.
I think you need the
I
Yankees.
think Judge would help. And I think, well, that's what I mean.
Well, and it needs the New York market.
Maybe I'm wrong, but Judge doesn't move the needle like Shohei to me as a player. I feel like Shohei is such a unique. He's a unicorn in so many ways. The
He is,
pitching,
but he's not pitching this year.
But even as a hitter, he's the first 50-50 guy.
Totally. I think Shohei's must see, but I also think Aaron Judge has a lot of appeal. I do.
How do you like that?
Shohei and the Dodgers wrapped up the NL West last night, 7-2 over the Padres. That is 11 division crowns in 12 years. But Freddie Freeman made an early exit with a lower right leg injury. The Mountain West got another round of pledges from its 7 remaining members yesterday. That includes UNLV and Air Force. Those two schools will split nearly half of the incoming exit fees and poaching penalties from the Pac-12 taking 5 schools. UNLV says that might mean $25 million. And the Chicago Sky have reportedly fired first-year head coach Teresa Weatherspoon. Guys, back to you.
Hey, did you guys see the story? We haven't talked about this a lot, but basketball is going to be starting again soon, and we're going to get the LeBron and Bronny show. And how much planning and detail is going in behind the scenes to this moment when LeBron and Bronny take the court together. Like, I think they might stop the game if one passes to the other and the other scores, however that happens. And I think they're going to stop the game and make a big thing about it.
That's so weird. I mean, you do that at the end of a career, not at the beginning of a career.
Apparently, it's going to happen really soon, quickly into the season. First game, second game, something like that.
I'll play it. Hey, JJ, go, Bronny, you're in. And then he runs on the court and passes the ball to LeBron and it's done. What planning is there? It's basketball. And how hard is it to have a guard pass to another guy?
They're not sketching plays. They're talking about like what they're going to do in the arena when
That's
this
what I'm
happens.
saying. Nothing. That's what the only appropriate response is. They should not celebrate.
No,
But they
Perloff,
are.
You're right.
Yeah.
But this is what this whole thing's about. It's never been about basketball. If it was, Bronny would have never gotten drafted.
Right. I don't think they do anything. It'd just be so criticized. If they stopped the game and did any kind of ceremony,
You think they're worried about criticism now?
They hung a banner for the in-season tournament.
There you go.
They drafted the dude.
And the story is they've already decided to do something. They're trying to figure out what specifically to do. Like the ship has sailed on this.
What you mean? Like stop the game and hand out?
We don't know.
A gold ball.
We just know that JJ Redick said there's been conversations about it. So I'm sure there's been no fewer than 100 emails sent about this.
But can we make a compromise? Like, can we just do this opening night, get it over with, and then send Bronny to the Bay City Rollers, whatever they're called, and I'm just playing the G League for the rest of the year?
South Bay Lakers.
Whatever.
Like, why wouldn't it happen? Because they just keep Bronny on the bench.
Like, well, he shouldn't be in an NBA jersey on opening night,
right?
The way I see it. So, like, let's just if this has to happen, let it happen, and then let's go back to real basketball.
Yeah,
send him where he needs to go to develop, and then whatever. But this is another sign that he's going to be in a uniform on the end of the bench every single night because he's LeBron's kid, and they're going to force him into games.
I mean, just unveil the statue of whatever play it is. It's like already in bronzed outside. Carla's in Idaho here to save the day. She's got an anniversary gift idea for Perloff. Carla, what do you have?
Hey, good morning, Maggie and Pearl. I can't believe that it's the day of and you still don't have anything.
Well, I have a bag.
Gosh, she doesn't like it.
I heard about that, so I don't know. You know, if
Carla,
you want a real bag of...
The disappointment that's just dripping from your voice is just making Perloff feel even worse. I love it. Continue.
Well, I was thinking jewelry, and so I decided to look up what the traditional, gift was, and it's crystal. So that kind of doesn't maybe fit with jewelry, but a watch is a good one, and so maybe there's a beautiful watch you could give her.
Yeah, she doesn't wear
All
watches.
the hours. What?
She doesn't wear watches.
She might want to.
Nope.
That's it? You're cutting it off? Carla's got this great idea.
It's a great idea.
The watch, and you're just like, no, dismissing it.
She will not wear the watch. You know, some people don't wear watches. Carla, she doesn't wear a watch. Is there something like that?
A bracelet.
Something like a watch?
A bracelet, yes. I was going to say
pocket
a bracelet.
watch?
Ooh, that's something different.
All right.
Pocket watch / monocle, like a little double down. It's a Halloween.
Did they make a crystal iPhone?
How about stopwatch?
They got time.
You can clock her 40.
How long will it take for
crystals
Perloff
and
to go
watches.
down to the kitchen, get me something to eat, and bring it back? Go. Carla, I thought it was a good idea. Perloff's dismissing it, but thank you for trying to help.
Well, he's been dismissing everything, hasn't he?
Yes.
This guy.
Literally what I said.
Yeah, EJ's honest in the here. I think either you just don't want to get a gift, or you know what you're gonna get. You're just trying to make sure it's the right thing, like because you're saying no to everything.
Yeah, I mean, Carla was on. At least had tried. Your guys' ideas are bad, except for Manny's.
Oh my gosh.
Except for Manny's. Thank you very much.
Yeah, a $20 bouncer tip handshake.
EJ, you wanted me to go to some strange airport spa in Fort Lee, New Jersey.
No, there's one in Brooklyn too. I told you about that one. And you're like, oh no, can't do that either.
Yeah. Perloff is like the person who it's like, hey, you want to get something to eat? It's like, yeah, sure. What do you want? You want a burger? No. Pizza? No. Chinese food? No.
So what do you want?
I don't know. I'm just hungry. You want pita? No.
Anything you want. Whatever you want.
Wait, Perloff, have you eaten? We talked about this before.
Oh, yeah.
Is
Are
that
you
the
just
problem?
hungry?
Are you hungry? Is that why we can't get this thing done?
Get this guy a Snickers.
Something.
No, I mean,
Get him a donut.
wait. First
There's
of all,
mad donuts out there too.
Bogus, you're talking a lot of trash. Like you don't struggle with the same thing. Every married guy has a hard time figuring this stuff out.
100%. My wife's birthday is in November. We'll have this conversation 2 months from now.
Yeah.
But eventually, I'm going to give in and pick. And I've picked all of these things: flowers, jewelry, nails, massage, cooking class. You have dismissed everything immediately.
Cooking class.
Oh
God. I didn't,
This is impossible. All right, we got to make some NFL and college picks. We'll do that.
How about
next.
a lawyer? Does she need a lawyer?
yeah, she could go to a cooking class with that dude.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 4 minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. $45 seconds remaining.
Perloff's anniversary's near, but he's clueless, stuck in fear. What's he gonna get for his lovely wife? The gift won't add to his strife. But every time he starts to think, he's distracted on the brink. Maybe jewelry, not too hard, so he scrolls Twitter instead of buying a card. Andrew can't get it together, it's plain to see. Anniversary gift not happening, no guarantee. And while he's lost in his own little storm, Belotti's nowhere, skipping work the norm. Boger strolls in with a grin so wide. No Belotti here means no pressure to hide. He's got no Belotti barking in his ear, so Andrew's procrastination is all
right,
we
time
hear.
to make some picks. EJ, what's the record so far?
So Maggie, last week you were 3-2, so that makes you 9-6. Perloff, you were 2-3, so that makes you now. Give me 1 second here. 2-3, so that's 7-8.
All right, we've got some work to do.
Can I ask you real quick about anything? I've been feasting on Florida State unders, and their under over against SMU is 47. But like when you hit on the same bet again and again, like eventually, don't you worry in the back of your head that they're due to do something? I just feel like the same logic applies every week, but eventually, like you weigh, like, man, eventually these teams have to start doing what we expected them to do in the first place. But that's not my pick.
Okay, well, go ahead. We don't have a lot of time.
Oh, okay. I'm going to go under on the.
This is how we do it, by the way. We do 2 college picks against the spread and an over-under, and then 3 NFL picks against the spread, over-under, and a prop.
Okay, I'm going to do the Louisville Notre Dame under. I got to check the current number. I saw 46.
It's 46.
46, under 46. And then my other college game is going to be Kentucky plus 16.5 against Ole Miss, hoping that Ole Miss, when they finally see a sort of real team, will not just blow them out. So we'll do college first, and then you do college.
Yeah, I'm going to do a last-minute change here. So I was going to go with the Louisville-Notre Dame game, but some injuries on the Louisville side is kind of scaring me off that game. So instead, I'm going to take USC, and I'm going to lay the 15.5. They're welcoming Wisconsin in. I think USC is coming off of this loss against Michigan. I didn't like some of Lincoln Riley's moves, but I thought they actually appointed themselves rather well in that game. I don't know. Is it okay to have a good loss? I don't know about that. But they go home. Wisconsin's got to go there. It's a big number, but I'm okay laying the 15.5. And then as far as my over-under, I'm going to take the Alabama-Georgia game, but I'm going to go under 49.5. The weather's supposed to be fine, obviously. We're thinking about everyone who's dealing with the hurricane Helene, but the weather's actually supposed to be fine in Tuscaloosa. I just think these teams are going to come out a little tight, and I don't know if they're going to be able to make up enough for it on the back end. When they probably loosen up, everyone gets a little tired and the scoring starts happening, but I don't know if they're going to hit this number. So give me the under 49.5.
I like that a lot. Okay, my NFL, I'm going to same game parlay this son of a gun.
Look at you. Prize picks?
I'm looking at Bengals and against Andy Dalton and the Panthers. I think the Bengals are going to be so desperate. This is just a desperation theory. So I've seen Bengals minus 4.5. I think that they win this handily, and it goes over 47. So I'm going to bet that Andy has a good game, but in a losing effort. Bengals minus 4.5 and over 47 in that game. And then my prop is Bo Nix over 25.5 rushing yards because Bo Nix is Michael Vick 2.0. I saw him last week. That man can fly, Maggie. And they're going against the Jets, who I don't think he's going to be able to pass against. So I think out of desperation, he might try and run a lot. That's my prop. What do you got?
Okay, for my NFL, I think people are off the Saints right now, and I'm not ready to jump off. So give me the Saints plus the 2.5 at Atlanta. I do like Atlanta's defense, but
you were never on the Saints.
Yeah, that's true. But everyone's jumped off of them, so now I'm in. Saints plus 2.5 at Atlanta. I'll take the Pittsburgh Indianapolis under 40. I'm taking Steelers unders.
You can't get that game low enough
until the end of time. And obviously, Indy's offense is still searching. And as for my player prop this week, can I get a sad Travis Kelce anytime touchdown? It's plus 160 on DraftKings. Hand me a Travis Kelce anytime touchdown. They want to try to get some positive vibes for Kelce, so he doesn't answer questions about how sad he looks on the sidelines with his silly haircut and his silly mustache. So, Kelce TD against the Chargers.
Great bet. I love that.
So let's recap them. Go back through what you have.
So I have Notre Dame, Louisville under 46, Kentucky plus 16.5 against Ole Miss. Then I'm same game parlaying Bengals, cover 4.5, over 47, Bo Nix over 25.5 rushing yards.
I'm going to take USC. I'm going to lay the 15.5 against Wisconsin. It's a big number. I'm going to take Alabama, Georgia, the under 49.5 in that heavyweight matchup. Give me the Saints plus 2.5 at Atlanta. I want Pittsburgh and Indianapolis under 40. And give me a Travis Kelce anytime touchdown. That's plus 160 if you're betting on DraftKings. Thank you to EJ Stewart. Thank you to Manny Rodriguez, Andrew Bogusch, Andrew Kaplan, Guido's Coffee Drinkers. You know who you are. Thank you to Luke Touma, the comedian who was our celebrity NFL picker this week. And you. Thank you. Have a great weekend.
You're in a 5-minute break.